Well, we're back and Super Bowl 59 is done. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about quite a few things today because there are a lot of changes happening in our world. And I just actually want to kick this off today on a somber note because the last episode was a bookend, the end of a 3.5-year journey. The First Down Under podcast is done. It's done, boys. The First Down Under podcast is over.
It's dead.
But that's only because someone else called it something that first, and then we couldn't seem to beat them no matter how many episodes we put out, which is why we're happy to announce. Are we all happy to announce? Can we do this, boys?
Yes, we can.
Let's go. Come on.
We're going to now be bringing you the SK Sportscast. The SK Sportscast, that's right, because...
What's a SK?
Well, if anyone listened to the very first episode of First Down Under podcast, you would have heard us talk about SKs and SKs. Sick, can I say it?
Do it.
Cunts.
Don't get us banned. Cunts.
I don't want to get us banned. Sick cunts and shit cunts. But we're talking about sick cunts because our audience, all you listeners at home, you've been sick cunts. You've been growing our listenership. You've been leaving reviews. You've been getting good stuff to us. You've been inspiring us to continue. So we decided to commemorate the name of the new podcast, the name of the new journey, after our fan base. You bloody fucking sick cunts. A lot of ya.
Does a sportscast mean we could be podcasting about sports other than football?
Well, I'm glad you got us there, Mitchy boy, because there's a hat on your head, and I can tell you that is not the hat that you would find an NFL fan wearing.
I thought it was a Patriots hat. Oh.
No, it's
wait.
similar in colours.
It's a chookie.
There's a cock on it.
There's a cock on his hat.
There's always a cock on my head.
There's a cock on his head, and that is the kind of cock that you would expect to see in short shorts during the Australian winter.
Some NRL?
NRL!
Oh,
That's
fuck
right.
fuck yeah.
Here's what we've decided, guys. Here's what we've decided, guys and gals at home who are listening. So here's the thing. We're getting a lot of requests to broaden our horizons a little bit. We're trying to get into year-long content. Now, here's the reality. There is a period of time where the NFL gets very boring, shall we say. Not a lot happens. It's somewhere between sort of the NFL draft and minicamp, where it's really basic storylines. You can't even do that much. So we want to get into year-long content. We can't do that simply talking about one sport. Now, what we've worked out is that most of our listenership here in Australia probably enjoys the NRL. I think it's almost unequivocal. We can say that they are also simultaneously NRL fans. Why? Because just like the NFL, this is not a pussy sport. You get hit, you get knocked out, you get CTE. It's all part of the game, right? It's part of the game that we love and enjoy.
Someone knocked me out.
Someone knock you out. Well, with a cock on your head, I might have to give it a good spanking.
Especially with the NRL going to Vegas in 2 weeks, some Americans want to know what a beautiful game can bring them.
Well, that's the other thing, right, is we do have a small American listener base, and the reality is the NRL is trying to get into America. And this is a sport that we've all followed since we were kids, yeah? Way before we followed NFL. And we thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to be able to introduce the Americans to this sport, because I can tell you guys, you'll love it. I mean, look at Jordan Mailata. Imagine 18 Jordan Mailatas in a team with 13 on the field. Did I get that right, boys? It's been a while for me.
That's right. 13.
That is right. 13 on the field, 18 if you include the bench.
Yeah.
17, but then the
18th
HIA.
man.
With the 18th man, there you go. And you know what? Usually minimal referee intervention, I will say.
Yeah, I never know.
Not quite as bad as what we've seen recently
Yeah,
in the
no, no,
NFL. Well, we'll see. Anyway, the point being is that we are going to broaden our horizons, and so our flagship show will now be the SK Sportscast, which will be dedicated to the NFL, dedicated to the NRL, but also just in general. Sometimes big shit happens in sports. Sometimes someone, I don't know,
Gets knocked out.
someone gets knocked out. Maybe they tear both ACLs. Maybe Joy Taylor gets knocked out by Skip Bayless, and we want to talk about that. It's all sporting related.
Knocked up? Or?
Well, who knows? It depends. That whole thing is very, very mysterious at the moment. A lot of hush money for a lot of people who are saying a lot of things. Anyway, we want to talk about general stuff that might happen as well. So there is going to be a flagship show called the SK Sportscast. But then there's also going to be SK Presents. Evan, you like the Premier League.
Yeah, I do.
I like the Premier League. You guys don't like the Premier League.
Minimal interest.
Minimal interest. And that's okay. That's what SK Presents is for. What's SK Presents for? So that we can run an episode on the Champions League. Matthew, you like the UFC.
Love it.
Evan, you like UFC. You'd rather beat off a dick that's on your head.
Fair.
Fair?
Yeah.
Fair? Cool. Well, then we can run. SK
Freeman.
presents UFC 348, right? We like baseball.
We love it.
These boys do not
Yeah.
care about baseball. We can have episodes as we get closer to the World Series. We might have an episode even to kick off the baseball year. So SK Presents will be a separate sub-show, if you will, where we can explore some of the other things we're interested in. So
Not
we're
as
all,
frequently.
Not as frequently. So we're all mutually interested in the NFL, the NRL, and big shit that happens in sports. However, on top of that, we are going to be doing SK Presents. There are two more, and I'll save the best one for last. SKs with SKs. There are people in this world, SKs, other SKs, not shit cunts, sick cunts, people who we'd love to interview. I personally would love to get a Wendell Saylor type on for an interview. Maybe a Mark Geyer. Might be fun.
MG be the best.
MG be the best. I'd like to talk about MG if you're listening. I'd like to talk about what happened with Triple M. We will get to that. But there are people out there. There are sports people who have accomplished great things. Who knows? Maybe it's an Olympian who threw a fucking javelin. I don't know. SKs with SKs will be us interviewing other SKs, except those who are, actually involved in the sport, unlike us sideline commentators. But anyway, SKs with SKs, that'll be coming. That's a goal for this show. We would love to interview SKs, and we will. The last
SKs
one.
with SKs though. So are we?
Yeah.
Are we the shit cunts?
Are we the shit cans?
Yeah,
Well,
we
it's
become
implied.
shit
Interviewing
cunts.
the
we
sick
become
cans?
we become the shit cunts in that
Okay.
case,
Just
interviewing
wanna
the shit
make
cunts.
sure.
Yeah, because
we don't want to offend our future guests.
well, look, it depends. Unless we get Oscar Pistorius on the show, by which then it's shit cunts and shit cunts. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe in that case we are the sick cunts. Anyway, there is one more. And this has been a passion project of mine, if you will. I love to tell a good story, as we know.
this has been a hell of a story so far.
This has been a hell of a story so far. I love to tell a good story. And we're talking about doing Dirty SKs.
Ooh.
And I think our first Dirty SK show, which is an investigative journalism show, may be about Orenthal himself.
Wow.
Who here knows about Orenthal more than anybody else?
Wow.
Then Mitch,
Ooh,
the
Mitch.
lovely
We can't
Mitch.
say anything tonight, though.
We can't say
Would
anything
spoil
tonight,
the show.
but I will say that we're also going to usher in an award this year called the Orenthal Award.
Fuck me.
for any runaway touchdown or try, whether intercepted.
Do you have to be running slowly,
You
like
just have
the
to
white
be-
Bronco?
Do they have to wear a white jersey?
And by the way, guys, I've ordered a white Bronco on Amazon, not a real one. That'd be funny if we did a podcast inside a white Bronco, by the way. Someone flagged that. But I ordered a die-cast white Bronco, so we can have an award to hand out every week.
Where is the white? The white Bronco has to be somewhere. That white Bronco.
Yeah,
like
it's probably been
Ted
sold
Bundy's
somewhere.
cars in the fucking crime
It's in-
museum in Washington. Like, surely it's only the getaway car.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you now.
But what
Something
I
for
do
you to
know...
Find out where it
investigate,
is.
Mitch.
What I do know is we're going to have a 1:24 scale die-cast version of it. Amazing!
It ended up in a museum in 2024.
Ah, good. Let's go.
Really? A museum in 2024. Outstanding. Okay. Well, we're going to get into today's episode. But before we do, the other really exciting thing that I have for you guys today, to commemorate this move forward, is I bought everyone some gifts.
Gifts?
I bought everyone some gifts. I'm going to go grab them. Give me 2 seconds.
This has been one of the best intros yet.
I thought that was the gift.
Have a good look at your name, mate.
Oh, look at that rapping.
Evan.
Couple of penises there. Perfect.
Yeah, and
Yep.
wait for good old Matthew Eddy.
And,
Look at the
yeah.
penises on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is there a reason why we have gifts and you don't?
No, well, trust me,
Well, he
I've
bought
got-
them.
I bought them. So anyway, listen, I would like you guys to unwrap it. I would like you to
how
unwrap it now.
many dicks do you have on yours?
Oh, he's already ripped it open.
Couple. Oh no, we'll just.
He's got 2 dicks. He's got
Two.
1. He's got
I got
3.
three.
And
I've
yours
got
are a real
I'm
spinny
opening
dick.
him up here.
And do you like the unicorn wrapping paper? So guys, I want you to open them, but you're gonna open the box at the same time.
Okay, well,
All right. You're gonna open the box at the same time.
Cool.
This is gonna be great. And then, yeah,
Made from
and look,
recycled
Now I will say
materials.
there is a gift in here that I forgot to give you guys in Greece. You guys can get to that. That's perfect for the show. But there's a gift sitting on top.
We don't want to show John's
So
address
everybody-
on camera.
That's okay. Everyone
Ready?
put it down. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
What the fuck's this?
Oh, no.
Boys, I love you. I love you so much. What does it say? Can someone show the camera? Oh, wait. What's that on the back? What does that say? Does that say I suck balls at fantasy football in 2024? It does, doesn't it?
What is this?
It does,
Arthur's
doesn't it?
Aardvarks, 4th place, 8-7 record, 0-1 in the playoffs, 0-3 against
Hey.
Dr. Neil.
Evan,
Oh,
look,
and 3, huh?
Evan, look at the bottom of your shirt. What's it say?
Okay, let me read mine out. So, a boy from Oz, wooden spoon, 4-11 record, missed playoffs, 0-3 aggregates, Dr. Neil, and yes,
Down the bottom.
drafted Christian McCaffrey, whole team on IR.
Yeah, I put some just some common Evan excuses on there.
I love my one.
Do you?
Nathan Peterman,
Yeah.
5th place,
Yeah.
6-9 record, just
Yeah.
brilliant.
Brilliant.
Missed the playoffs, 1-2 against Dr. Neil.
So you
I designed
got
them.
a W against Dr. Neil, and
I got
now
a
here we
W.
go.
Oh, and here we go. There's another present in there. That's right. These came from Greece. And as if anyone knows anything about
Bobognetti.
Greece, if anyone knows anything
Is this a
about Greece,
pencil case?
so that
Wait,
there-
this. Oh wow, this is a chick getting spit roasted. Look at this shit.
Sexual soap, vanilla.
so that's soap you can jack off.
Got a cock and balls, not bad.
That there is, you know how you always want to worry beats? I got you cock and balls instead.
As the Greeks do.
And Matthew got a wallet. There's a
Kama Sutra.
a spit roast wallet.
Beautiful
It's a
Johnny
Greek,
boy.
Oh,
the
gee,
Greek
that
Kama
zip.
Sutra. Oh, it's a good zip too. Listen to this.
Ooh, I
It's a
like
nice
It always-
sound. Shh.
Smells good.
it. It does it.
It's in his ass.
You would hope so. So that soap, just so you know how to use it.
No, it's not going
you
to fit
know-
anywhere else, is it?
Well, it depends. You don't want to. If you drop it, you might sit on it. But you've just got to. Don't forget to lather it up, right?
As they say, it always seems impossible until it's done.
So did you like the
Duly
shirts?
noted.
Love these shirts.
You love the shirts? You're gonna wear the shirt? It's a good gym
It's
shirt.
going to go right next to my CD Lamb
I-
shirt.
Yeah, I designed it.
Thank
Now,
you, Canva.
I will say, there's one person I didn't buy one for.
Yourself.
No, have a think.
Will.
No, I actually did. I got to give it to him one day.
You got one for Will.
Of course, I got one
Oh,
for
that's-
Will. He
that's
came
nice.
second.
That's very
He deserved
nice.
one.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Oh, Christian.
Who else? Oh yeah.
Who hasn't-
I
who
forgot-
hasn't-
I forgot he's in our
Who
league.
hasn't paid me? He's $100.
He has not paid you yet. Oh my god. Well, look. To be fair, I'm doing a
coulda had a
terrible job
shirt.
as a treasurer.
You could have had a shirt. You
The
coulda
fact that
had
you
a
didn't
shirt.
know is probably not a great job.
That's
but
very telling. Anyway, I thought.
But let's be honest, if he
know,
won, he would have done BSB a minute after it was announced.
Oh,
Okay, man,
yeah.
relax.
Well,
Joint account.
Incredibly
Before Sunday
thoughtful
Night
gifts,
Football.
John. Thank you.
Thank you
John.
very much.
So
I love you
beautiful.
guys.
I did suck at
and-
fantasy football. I'm just
Yeah.
annoyed that Christian beat me home.
All right, let's get into the episode. Where are we starting today, fellas? I think, Mitch, you came up with the agenda, so I want you to lead us into the next one. Where are we starting, buddy?
Well, we watched the Super Bowl yesterday, the culmination of the 2024 season. Great performance, not a great Super Bowl. I would have thought, but some big takeaways. We normally
Yep.
do our 4 downs, one each, big takeaway each, and let's put a bow on the 2024 season.
Yeah, I think that's great. Who wants to go first? Evan. Actually, I want Evan
Look
to
at
go
him, he's
first
smiling
because
and
he just
It's a
loves
beautiful
Philadelphia.
Odds on
He
him
doesn't
talking
look
about Dallas in the fucking.
no, Dallas are banned. Dallas are banned from
Unless
this
it's
podcast.
Dallas Goddard.
2 years ago, I was very happy watching the Super Bowl Chiefs and Eagles because I said cry Eagles, cry to another Super Bowl loss. But fuck me. What a team. What a team from top to bottom. Yes, top to bottom. What were we saying yesterday? What their most expensive player on the cap next year is Jalen at $20 million. It's like you have
Crazy.
a quarterback dual threat. You have the most talented running back probably in the competition. The O-line is generationally one of the best. Yet, what were they? Average 6'6", 300 pounds. We saw heaviest and tallest. Their D-line, they didn't even do any blitzes, and they got to Mahomes how many times? 7 sacks, 15 pressures.
Yeah.
That's how you run a franchise. I'm not going to say who, but that's how you run a franchise. Unfortunately, it's in my division. But the good thing about my division is there's no repeat winners since 2002.
So is your takeaway from the Super Bowl that Philly won't win the NFC East next year?
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs, but they will make the playoffs, but they won't win the division. But
I find
Again.
that hard to believe.
they'll find a way. But
Washington are building. but
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the whole game. Like if we looked at the score, I was telling you guys at halftime, and you see what was the score at halftime? 28-0,
24.
24-0.
24-0, yeah.
If you gave us 24-0, you're thinking, okay, Saquon went off or Jalen went off. You wouldn't think the Chiefs have only had one first down, 18 yards,
23.
23 yards. It's an unbelievable defensive performance, probably the best ever we've ever seen in a Super Bowl. Yes, people say it's the most boring since Seattle and Denver, but it wasn't boring for a Philly fan in the pub we were at in Marrickville. Fucking non-stop.
Shout out to the Vic.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Has anyone got their burgers yet?
Side note, me and Mitch waited an hour and a half for burgers. They gave me a hot dog because they felt sorry. Then we got like
They didn't feel sorry for you. It was the wrong order.
yeah, but still we got a few beers and a jug in response, so we'll take that. My takeaway is Philly next year looking good as well, but the year after when they have to pay some defensive players, that's when it's going to hit the fan. But knowing them, they're going to go out next year and sign Myles Garrett or trade for him. Watch, but. Yeah, it's an unbelievable performance for Kansas City. It was the worst game we've probably seen under the Andy Reid era, especially from Mahomes. Like, I get the dropbacks. It reminded us of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl where he was running for his life. Everyone will say, oh, the dynasty's over. Yeah, the dynasty's over, I get, because Buffalo will come in, Baltimore will come in. You had a joke yesterday that the Chargers and Broncos will finish above them next year.
One of them will.
You reckon?
Yeah.
That's a take. That's nice.
There you
But I still think they will be good. But yeah, I think with the consensus, I don't see them making back to a Super Bowl in the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, interesting. It just goes to show how hard it is to win in this league sometimes. You know, you've got a quarterback that is arguably going to be, he's obviously a generational talent. I mean, he's almost been early. He's got an early access pass to GOAT status, you know. I'm not going to say he's better or more accomplished than Tom Brady, but you just don't know with that amount of talent how far his career is going to take him because he's been winning early, you know, really early. But much like with Tom Brady, there was a stretch in the middle there where there were no Super Bowl wins, you know. So Tom Brady had the first 3, and then there was like this extremely long stretch of time before the fourth happened, you know.
There was,
and so the question is, you know, is this what's happening to Kansas City? I don't want to talk about dynasty over and stuff like that, but it's clear that it's a team that is going to have to start to retool. Now, they're in a great position to retool because they've got arguably, as I said, you know, definitely one of the most talented quarterbacks we've seen for a really long time playing for them. But I think my take is this. Philly look really hard to unseat and sort of have for the last couple of years. I know that last year they didn't get as deep into the playoffs. There's obviously the Super Bowl year. They were extremely strong. But you could just kind of feel like it was going to happen, you know? And I if the core of this team stays together again next year, I know this is a boring take, but how do you bet against them? Like, how do you put money now on Detroit, who have lost their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, tons of staff members that were sitting in there? You know, how do you put your money on that team to outclass this version of this Eagles team that didn't even blitz most of the game, but wreaked havoc on that Kansas City line? Absolutely nuts. They were a nightmare to handle. And so, you know, you look at Philly and it's not an aging team. There are a couple of older players, but the nucleus will be there. Maybe Brandon Graham will retire, and that's fine. That's one player, right? The nucleus is there. You talked about the cap situation. There's like this, you know, this crazy buffer that exists because the highest cap hit is on Jalen Hurts. And, what does that tell you? That you've got guys like A.J. Brown.
Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
The whole O-line.
That whole O-line is nuts. You've got, you know, look at the defense. Man, look at
Jordan Davis. Cooper DeJean.
Like, seriously, that kid was balling out there.
Shout out on his 22nd birthday as well.
And in the middle of Black History Month.
Thought Mitch would say that.
Well, he's a minority, you know, in that position.
Yeah, especially white corners.
Yeah, just doesn't happen very often. But on a serious note, like,
do you have a shout out to some Jets players that won the Super Bowl?
yeah, 7 of them.
Shout out to Keelan Moore.
7. That's a massive. No,
That's well.
Actually,
Roster
7
is
of them.
53. So what's
over
how-
10% of Philadelphia squad.
Yeah, 7
Played
into
for Jets,
53.
seriously.
Wait, this is Mackay. Who else is there? I can't think of anyone off the top of my
Bro,
head.
there's Mackay, there's Bryce Huff, there was
7%, yeah.
Yeah,
No, 7 out of 53.
7 out of
12%.
53, sorry.
There were 7
15%,
players:
yeah.
Perry Nicholson, and a couple of the Braden Mann, the punter, was a Jet.
Jesus.
And then there were a couple of
Didn't
other.
punt much yesterday, did he?
Didn't have to.
They punted early.
What a
twice.
job.
Yeah,
First drive.
Yeah.
Very first drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then nothing since.
Yeah.
So yeah, just for me, it's like, well, geez, this team, how do you unseat them? And I think my take is not so much about Philly, it's about the rest of the NFC. You know, I would argue there will be a repeat winner in the NFC East. Evan, I would argue that that's definitely going to happen. I would say
Not with their schedule.
Well, says who?
Says me.
They just beat the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, but still, their schedule's fucking hard
Here we
next year.
go. Yeah, well, you know, whatever. And Dallas' schedule's easy, and you'll still miss the playoffs with fucking Brian Schittenheimer as your head coach. So, you know,
No
there's that.
Dallas talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, point is, my thing is this, fellas. What team would even be strong enough to unseat Philly next year? I can't even find one.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC wasn't particularly deep, right? There was a very small handful of contenders. And you're right. I think the big risk with Detroit is the coaching attrition. 100% agree with that.
What about Green Bay?
Yeah. They'll be up there.
Yeah, they just
Yeah, they'll be
kind of
there.
didn't fully get it going this year, did they?
But
But
Jordan Love was banged up
yeah,
like the whole season.
they were really good at the end of
The first
2
game,
years ago.
he
They
played-
nearly beat Philadelphia in the first game.
Yep.
It was a long time ago now.
Brazil.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well,
they'd be second pick. for me.
my take is, and you guys have kind of already touched on it, but what I'll say is if they could give the Super Bowl MVP to anyone on the staff, it'd be Howie Roseman.
Yep.
Oh,
Not
100%.
Big Dom.
Fuck
and
him.
It'd be a close second.
Yeah.
But not Nick
Defensive
Sirianni.
coordinator
Not
for-
Nick Sirianni.
defensive
I still
coordinator for-
cannot get behind Nick Sirianni, guys. But
Really? Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Why?
Go back to week 5 when he said he was on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'll
everyone
stand,
was saying
I'll,
that. It
I'll
was
stand
ridiculous.
by it back then. I'll
But
stand
why?
by it back
Like,
then.
give me your rationale. Why not Nick
I'm not
Sirianni?
saying he's not deserving of it. I'm just saying he's just not my cup of tea, John. Can I talk about Howie Roseman? My take, please. Yeah, please. I don't want to be quizzed about Nick Sirianni. But seriously, I mean,
Alright.
it's kind of crazy. Like last year, that 6-game stretch, that losing streak, the second half of last year, really cannot explain it. I mean, as far as roster building goes, I mean, masterful. You can probably put down last year to 2 very average coordinators in trying to backfill Steichen and Gannon. Yeah, I mean, look, Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson retire last year, and they have Juergens, who they drafted in 2022. He's playing as a guard, and he just fits right into the center position. I'd say early on this season, it was a little scratchy, but they got that tush-push humming in no time.
Oh, yeah.
Howie Roseman was like the first guy to pay his receivers and pay them well early in the offseason. And, you know, unlike Jerry Jones, didn't wait. He just doesn't procrastinate with this stuff. He just pays early. He knows that, you know, just takes care of his people. But just has like the foresight to have depth at the positions that matter, being the line, just winning the line, and everyone's talking about the D line, and yeah, it was a absolute shit show for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
You're right, Ev. There was 16 pressures and 16 pressures, 6 sacks with 4 men, and there was like 5, 6, 7 people
Fumble, 2
lining up
picks.
against them. It's just crazy. But that O-line, man, the way they've been able to keep it together after last year has just been incredible. So they won on the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, all 3 phases, and it's a massive credit to Howie Roseman is my takeaway.
So you'd say he's taking care of his stars.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which star? You're trying to say me the Star of David because he's a Jew?
God.
Is that what you're trying to say, John?
I didn't say that.
Oh, I said it.
I didn't say that.
The greatest Jew.
Juju.
I'm watching you. No, anyway. Yeah, look, he has taken care of his star players. He did secure some of these guys early, and that was a big difference. I think as well, just the willingness to pay Saquon made a big
And it wasn't
difference
that
this
much
year.
fucking money either, was it?
He's
It
on
wasn't-
7 million cap hit.
Yeah,
It's
but
nothing.
7 million cap hit doesn't mean his salaries. Like
No.
he had a lot of guaranteed money as well, and he had a good bonus. But you know, it's like, yeah. I fundamentally believe that building a good team isn't that hard, right? If you got the cap space and you remember to take care of the people who you raised and turned into star players, it should all be okay. For me, what's hard is keeping that culture together, especially when the winning's happening and then the losing happens, and then we're trying to get back to the winning. And that's why I was being a dick about the Sirianni thing, because clearly he's a big part of that culture.
Yeah, 100%.
Clearly.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mitch?
I don't want to hear no GOAT talk.
Yeah, right.
5 Super Bowls, 2 curb stompings, 2 touchdownless first halves. Brady 10 Super Bowls, left the field in the fourth quarter
With a chance.
with a lead in all 10 Super Bowls at some stage.
Wow.
That's
10 for 10.
So that includes against the Giants, right?
Both
Yep.
times.
Does include
How'd
against the
that end?
Giants on both occasions.
Eli Manning.
They were saying it was a stat with
6 for 9, or 7 for 10, if you include Tampa, is 70%. It's better than 3 for 5. I don't want to hear no GOAT talk where you're getting curb stomped 34 shit.
True.
Admittedly, the GOAT talk's not coming from Mahomes, but people are getting well ahead of themselves. And, yeah, there might be another 3 to 5 year run that can lead to 3 Super Bowls, and he might get to Brady. But he's got 15 years to play out before he sniffs that level of accomplishment in the biggest games.
People would argue, be like, oh, those 2 Super Bowls he lost, the offensive line sold him Tampa
Yeah,
and Phillip. But
they've-
sorry,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Brady didn't have the best offensive line every single year, and he made it work.
Yeah, he did have a lot of New England elite offensive lines, but
Especially with Brady, where he lost, I think, combined 12 points in 3 Super Bowls he lost.
so he beat Hurts, and
So
I don't know. You could
No,
make
I'm saying Brady, so he lost to the Giants twice and Philly by combined 12 points in all 3 games. Maybe it was a bit less.
Yeah, it was. It
was 8 by Philly, 8 by
They're all
Philly.
one-score games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then what?
3 to the Giants and 4 to the Giants.
So even if you just take this game, let's say it was his only Super Bowl loss, you got blown out by 40 at one stage. You're not in the game. Like you said, go talk isn't there. But another 5-6 years, let's say he wins another 3 and the only 2 losses is him running for his life. We could have a different conversation, but I agree with you.
The Super Bowl they did win 2 years ago is the only argument for the Mahomes camp. Like that Philadelphia team 2 years ago wasn't as good as this one, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of similar players, well coached, probably more decorated coordinators, etc. But other than that one, his Super Bowls have been won against Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo. Just both of them as well.
And 2 of them though were comeback victories.
2 of them were comeback victories. Yeah,
2 of them
he
were.
hasn't played 10. He hasn't led 10 Super Bowls in the fourth quarter and won 7 of them.
He also hasn't played 10 seasons.
Yeah, he hasn't played 10 seasons.
Then again, he's 0-2 with Tom Brady in attendance or playing.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
true. That
They
is true.
are. I think they're similar records through the first 7 years of the career.
Yeah. I saw something really.
Do it for 3 times as long, and
Yeah.
and still be a playoff level quarterback as a 44-year-old
Yeah.
with your marriage
Big
breaking
difference.
down.
Oh, God.
Well, I was going to say, it was, I saw this meme and it was like an image of Tom Brady sitting on the bench when it was 20-0 in that Atlanta game. And it was like Pat Mahomes just needed to find inside of him whatever Tom Brady found at that point in time. And then someone said, oh, Tom Brady probably, Tom Brady sacrificed Giselle, right? For the win. And then someone else said, yeah, well, if he tried to sacrifice Brittany Mahomes, he probably couldn't even get a first down, which I thought was really funny. Shout out to Brittany Mahomes, especially Jackson Mahomes. Anyway, not a friend of the show, that's for sure.
What kind of SK is he?
Oh, he's a fucking sloppy cunt. He's a sloppy, stroppy, fucking sad cunt.
He had a photo with
Sexual assaulting
DJT, you
cunt.
know?
Who?
Jackson Mahomes had a photo with the president.
Did he?
The great man.
Does that
In
surprise you?
attendance as well.
Yeah.
Grab her by the pussy. That's what he did. I think that was his defense.
I don't know. Mitch is the Trump expert.
I saw
No,
Trump
that wasn't not Trump's
claiming
defense. Jackson Mahomes.
claiming that he was raucously cheered, which I recall noting that he was, but that he particularly loved that Taylor Swift
got booed.
garnered the opposite reaction from the crowd, and she was booed when she.
Supporting the losing team.
Yeah. I have to say,
Well,
I find the constant coverage of her annoying, but I don't really find her annoying.
no.
I don't like her music or anything, but I don't find her annoying. Just another chick in the
Super
Probably
Bowl
boxed,
60.
isn't she?
She's
Like-
performing at halftime. You heard her here.
Watch.
She has to.
Kelsey might retire, and then that'll be
Nah, you
that.
can't retire like that.
She was performing in the box with Kelsey while he's doing special comments as opposed to playing.
Well,
Maybe.
compared to his first half,
On his
dropping 2
podcast.
passes.
Yeah. Anyway, well, let's move on because we're going to keep talking about KC and Philly because now we're going to say where to from here. We're going to cast our minds forward 1 season, 2 seasons, maybe 5 seasons, but probably 1 season, and try and work out where to from here. So, fellas, I mean, what do you think? Let's start a little bit more generalist, and I want to go to Evan first and ask him, where to for, say, the NFC and more particularly the NFC East.
When Dakota plays a full season,
Oh, fuck.
he's
Why?
only lost 2 games to Philly in his whole career. Dallas will finish above Philly in the NFC East next year.
Only in draft rankings.
No, in
Yes.
standings.
Only in draft
standings.
rankings, like this year. They will finish way above Philly in draft rankings.
It's gonna be 11-5 versus 10-6.
There's
You're telling
17
me-
games.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What do you mean? 17 games next year. True. Okay, 11
They're
and
like this
11 and
year
5.
and the
Yeah,
previous
fuck it.
one.
And
11
the
and
year
6,
before.
12 and 5.
You're telling me that the
Maybe a game
Brian
gets cancelled.
Schittenhammer,
In Dakota we trust.
in Dakota you trust, really?
Dakota, for every full season he's played, look at the stats, has double-digit wins.
Let me feel like the one.
So yeah, for KC, I still see him winning the AFC West, but as a 3rd seed. So I think Baltimore and Buffalo will be above him.
Interesting. Mitcho.
Yeah, I think there's 2 well-coached teams coming for Kansas City in their own division. They'll still be a playoff team, but I don't think they'll win the AFC West next year.
Wow.
Do you think they pick up a wild card?
Yes, they'll play playoff football.
Yeah.
But it could be a division where 2 or will be 2 or maybe 3 playoff combatants from that division. I'd like to say that one of these postseasons, Baltimore or Buffalo, will get past Kansas City, but I just can't. Eventually, if you keep sticking your hand in the fireplace, you'll end up with no arm, and that's where those that pick Buffalo and Baltimore end up.
So do you see Bo Nix finishing front or Justin Herbert? Maybe Oakland, Shador. Pete Carroll.
No, I don't think Oakland or Las Vegas will
Sorry.
play playoff football. But yeah, I think the AFC is really, really open. I'm not going to say Kansas City won't go deep in the postseason, but I don't think they'll win their division. I think the AFC is a lot more open next season. They could be any one of 5 or 6 teams could be the Super Bowl, including a team like Cincinnati even.
Matty boy?
Yeah, I agree with Mitch. If KC are any chance of defending the division title, what the Super Bowl showed is they absolutely, in this draft or by whatever means through free agency, they desperately need
tackles.
a tackle. It's insane. That they
Chargers,
just
Denver's
haven't-
real physical as well, both of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And just look at both of those coaches view the O-line as a tip of the spear.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not saying that KC don't. They obviously got away with it for the majority of this season, but where it mattered against a dominant defense and a D-line, it really showed.
It didn't really show much against Buffalo 2 weeks previous, which was a surprise as well.
Yeah,
He
they
wasn't
just played so efficiently against Buffalo. That was probably the only time in the whole season where Kansas City were great.
Because we're saying as well, even yesterday, they
When
should
they
have
did.
started early with the run. If you keep passing, you're going to go one way or the other.
What was that for KC?
KC, yeah.
Well,
just
they
so
tried
one-dimensional.
to, man. They just couldn't get anything going.
Their running wasn't bad early on. They only ran 2 or 3 runs in the whole first half.
I think there's an awareness, man. They were going to go nowhere. Tooney is not a tackle. He's an excellent guard. And I am actually shocked they hadn't switched him back
Early
to
on.
guard.
Just got overmatched
I'm
physically on
shocked.
both lines, and
Yeah. Yeah, they really did. So, O-line, yes, and a running back. Pacheco broke his leg. Look, he was not the same after he came back from that broken leg, man. And Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt. So, yeah, they're the 2 things they absolutely must address. And I think outside of that, everything else is okay. Defense is still pretty solid. Got burned yesterday. But I think short of that, they don't address that, then I think their morals to not defend the division title, and I would have Probably the Chargers, out of the Chargers in Denver.
Sorry,
for
both
mine.
your Philly predictions. We didn't get your Philly prediction.
Well, wait, let's do your KC. We'll go back for Philly.
Oh, sorry. I just jumped the gun for both of you.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because I feel like last year we said, "Oh, Kansas City." There's no way. Halfway through the season, Kansas City didn't look like the same team. There was even a chance it was touch and go that we're going to make the playoffs in general. They made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. This year we said, okay, they lost in the end, right? Which was great to see. But we said, they'll make the playoffs, but are they going to go for a deep run? Could this be Buffalo's year or could this be Baltimore's year? Because offensively they didn't look so strong. They were the only team, I think, not to have a game that hit 30 points
Correct.
at all.
No, in the
Maybe towards forget the
Buffalo.
playoffs in
regular
the
season.
regular season.
Regular season, they didn't hit 30.
Right. So the question
there were
was,
only 3 teams that didn't score 30 in the regular season.
Them?
KC
They were
Panthers.
Kansas City, the
Panthers
Panthers
did.
They were the Patriots, Giants, and Kansas City.
Yeah.
The Patriots and Giants
Even
won
the-
7
even the
games
Jets
between
did.
them.
even the Jets put up 30 points
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you
Yeah.
think about it. So they didn't put it, so there was serious question marks. Yet there they are in the big game, and obviously it didn't go their way. Credit to Vic Fangio because he had masterclass, absolute masterclass defensive scheming. But how do you count them out again? How do you sit here and say they're not going to do what they do every year and just find a way to make it? They're not going to lose that many players next year. Kelsey won't go with this being the way it ended. And even if he's not that good, they can draft another tight end. There's some tight end talent coming out in the draft. They probably do that just as a bit of security blanket. Adds more offensive firepower. Give it one more real quick go. And then see, if they need to go through a little bit of a rebuild. I wouldn't be surprised if next year is like a all-in, let's throw fucking everything at it when it comes to KC. And it'll be, if it works extremely well, great. We're primed for a decent rebuild, and if it doesn't work, great. We're going to be going into a rebuild. It's just hard to say that they're not going to win the division and get there.
Yeah, look, I think over a medium to long time horizon, you're right. I think what Mitch is saying, certainly what I'm saying, is that next season, the season after, very easily see like that changing of the guard.
Could happen.
But assuming that Andy Reid keeps coaching,
Yeah, as long as
I
they
agree. That'll be a fiercely contested
He's not going
division
anywhere.
for a long, long time.
It's like the Belichick, as long as they have Mahomes and Reid, they'll be a 10-win team every year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
For sure. Although what I will say though, the thing that does concern me, a loss of that magnitude can really fuck up a franchise too.
Yeah, but they've won 2 Super Bowls. I'm not talking about Atlanta here, who haven't been back since.
Yeah, and they have had one of these and then won.
Yeah.
Oh, against Tampa.
Yeah.
That's true.
True.
But
They were
that's true.
creamed.
They did it the
That's
next year.
31-9.
Yeah.
Right on
Yeah.
the money,
Bad.
John.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the different thing there is like Tampa were really old, really loaded, like a win now team. Obviously,
Technically at their home
all
ground
the
as
players
well.
Brady bought there, the COVID years, all a bit strange. This year, it looks as if on what was exposed yesterday, if Kansas City played Philadelphia every day for the next 5 years, they'd lose every time.
Mm.
Whereas you could count on that Tampa Bay thing being short-lived. What I want to get into is, we're talking about Philadelphia. Which AFC team, if Philadelphia made it back to this point next year, who is best equipped to be competitive against
Buffalo.
them?
I don't know about that.
I think
Buffalo.
it's probably Baltimore. They played in the season Philadelphia and Baltimore, and it was a game where Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals that Baltimore lost by 5, I think, in the end. That dual threat quarterback, big running back kind of combination.
It comes down to who have the better lines out of both. I'm not sure. Definitely not Baltimore. Definitely not Buffalo.
No, I think it's Baltimore that are the most likely AFC team that can challenge Philadelphia.
Probably. But
Unless it
been a
was
good
unless it was a really strange game and like a shootout and they were against like someone as random as Cincinnati who could just put 45 points on anyone but still lose 48-45.
I just feel Buffalo because next year it's in Santa Clara outside. If it's an outside team, I really like Buffalo as one of the best. I know Baltimore play outside, but Buffalo, I feel like if you put Buffalo in that game yesterday, I don't think they necessarily win. I don't think at all, but I think Allen adapts a bit better because as QB runs, he's more physical than Mahomes.
I don't care if
No one
who
would
it is,
have
even if it's fucking Michael Vick, man. You get 1 second. He had no time, man.
That's
Doesn't
what I'm
matter
saying,
who the fuck
but
you
you
are.
can't design QB runs with Mahomes. That's what I'm saying. I think they still lose Buffalo, but I think they would have dealt with it better than the Chiefs did.
Yeah, James, they've probably got a better running back and stuff as well. But like to me, Philadelphia just played so well in the first 3 quarters that they could have played the 2007 Patriots and they still would have.
What about
won by
Kenny
double
Pickett's
digits.
stat line towards the end?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that when Pittsburgh drafted Kenny Pickett, they thought that he'd bring another world title ring to
Pennsylvania, he did.
Yeah, and he did. As Philadelphia's back up with one of the all-time worst stat lines known to man, I think 0 for 1. I think he had
Minus 4 yards?
yeah, there was a sack. I think he got sacked, or he might have had 3 kneels or something.
3 nils. 3 nils.
And yeah, but he
And that throw
Oh,
missed the
man.
wide receiver by about 5 yards. It just sailed. It just absolutely sailed.
But it was still better
Don't they
than
knock
Patrick
big double?
Mahomes' pick 6 to Cooper DeJean.
Then again, I think
Yeah.
Mahomes threw the best ball of the game, even though we're not going to talk about it.
No, man.
The go ball to
Worthy.
But Jalen Hurts did it first.
to
no way.
Devonta.
It was like 60
yeah,
yards.
I think that the Devonta one was better. I agree. That was
In
that
between
was
2
incredible.
defenders, though.
It was
Situationally,
unexpected.
situationally,
Who
yes.
Who the fuck's throwing the ball in that point in time?
100%,
They're up
man.
by how many points at that point in time? And it's just like, you know what?
Full
to hell with
Hurts.
it. And that was just the best thing.
got a
because
coach as
no
good as
one
Nick
saw it.
Sirianni. He'll sign off on that.
Yeah, well, Dan Campbell. If it was Penei Sewell, it'd be nice.
Dan Campbell would have fake punted that that first
That
time
first
they punted.
one. Yeah.
True.
No,
That's
nil,
true.
baby. We
On
can
the
always
40.
make that 7 up later.
That's true.
So
Right,
we've
guys.
done the KC. All right, Philly.
I already said my Philly.
Oh yeah.
They make the playoffs, but they come second in the East.
Okay.
If
they're
I'm going,
more-
I think they make the conference. Dallas will get 1 and done straight away, the usual.
They're more likely to go 17-0 than not win the division, I think. But I don't think they will go 17-0. They win the division easily. They're clear favourite in the NFC and favourite to win the Super Bowl. In reality, someone will probably beat them because it's hard to do back-to-back.
Yeah.
Agree, and the teams to do so. Yeah, you mentioned it before. Green Bay are up there.
Washington,
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels could be
Yeah,
really, really good.
but we see it so often, and we saw it with Stroud. There is the sophomore slump. I don't know, but yeah, because like they'll be playing a much tougher schedule, 4-play schedule
Yeah.
this year. Be second place this year. Green Bay, I still believe in Detroit. I know it'll be very hard to backfill those coordinators, but the pure talent on the team, I'm still backing them in. But yeah,
How big, in hindsight, we always saw it at the time, but they kind of papered over to that Aiden Hutchinson injury. So big.
yeah, huge.
It was massive.
It's incredible. And not to mention the plethora of other fucking defensive injuries they had throughout the course of the year when they're the most injured defensive unit in the entire league by panels. Like, it was crazy. It was like 20.
The sad thing with
20
Hayden Hutchins,
20
they're already up 25 points against Dallas, so fucking it was a shame he was still out there.
They were playing against Dallas at the time.
They were.
I don't think Dan takes people off, though. Like, he
No.
didn't
No.
rest anyone when they won the division 2 years ago. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, what do you reckon? Is this like everyone's so quick to say the start of a dynasty whenever there is a Super Bowl winner. Do we believe it's a dynasty?
I'm not saying it's a dynasty, but I do think they got a good little 2 or 3 year window, probably akin to the window that the Seahawks had. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Like I look at them as pretty
great
similar
call.
to how the Seahawks were. It was probably a 3 year, 4 year window. This is not the start of the window. The window started 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I think that they've got I'm not saying they've got another Super Bowl victory in them, but I think they've got another 3 deep playoff runs in them, and I think they probably got one more Super Bowl shot in them. But the reality is the NFL nowadays is not geared to build one singular dynasty. And that is because the salary cap keeps growing, which means that, you know, as that happens, teams that are previously good end up getting saddled with fucking crazy contracts for players that may not always play to that ability. Mahomes is a good example of that. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the crazy contract. Of course he does, but he's not always going to be able to play to that level, and they won't always be able to afford supporting staff to make it up when he's not playing at that level, right? And so, you know, you look at these teams that become so hamstrung by their star players, it's only going to create opportunity for other teams to make the other purchases, to use the draft to grow to get to where they need to get to. So I don't believe that the league has been built to create singular dynasties, because in reality, we have not seen one since the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know that we'll see one again.
This is one. The Chiefs have made
The Chiefs,
6 Super Bowls or 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. Won 3 of them. Won the division 9 years in a row.
yeah,
isn't
but I
it?
think it's closing. I don't think it's. I don't think it's going to be open forever.
You need,
Yeah, but the Patriots one didn't close and opened up again 6-7 years later.
No, there were 2 losses in between.
The easiest thing is like you need to have a clear path of 1 to 3 teams in your own division being incompetent. The easiest way to win the Super Bowl is to be in it. The easiest way to be in the to make the Super Bowls to be in the playoffs. The easiest way to be in the playoffs is to win your division. They've had Denver bottoming out and changing coach. They've had the Chargers pretty much constantly in a state of flux until now. And then they've had the Raiders, a perennial joke, basically.
But isn't that the same as the AFC East with
Patriots
Brady?
had that in that period. Philadelphia, they're a big. The question as to are they going to be a dynasty is it's really heavily tied to the quarterback progression in Washington. I think, they're loaded offense. Like if he has a second and third year slump, obviously Philadelphia are built to win now, but Dallas are spinning their wheels. Like the Giants are at rock bottom. Well, the Giants are at rock bottom.
Yeah, they are.
Philadelphia have a fairly easy path to a playoff berth, and I know no one's won. Was it 19 years or something in a row? The NFC East.
2002.
Yeah.
Last time to do was Philly. Yes.
This is the best team that's been in the NFC East for 20 years. This particular team, though.
Yeah.
So, they're as equipped as anyone to do it. They're in a great cap situation. They're paying a guy that's performing like a high end first round draft pick, second roundish kind of contract money still.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of players on their lines and their skill position players that are from Alabama, Oklahoma. They've got so many players. Their culture, they always win.
Yeah, I think we all forget because of the way this year went that Kansas City also need to compete against Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow was arguably the best quarterback in the NFL this year, outside of maybe. And I know that Josh Allen basically won a participation award of a fucking MVP vote, which I thought was
Lamar
ridiculous.
got it the year before as well.
Yeah, but you could argue that you take Lamar out of that team and they were completely and utterly fucking useless of a team, right? I think the biggest thing for me is this: like, Kansas City have got way more playoff competition. That's the best way to put it. Kansas City have way more playoff competition.
There's a
Cincinnati can
gauntlet,
sort their
absolute
shit out on
gauntlet.
defense.
There's an absolute gauntlet in the AFC to get through. Like, you look at it and Philadelphia just hosed their way through the playoffs. Just won easily. They won every game in the playoffs easily. Whereas Kansas City had to, they beat Buffalo by a field goal. Buffalo beat Baltimore from a failed 2-point conversion the week before. Were there any close games in the NFC playoffs?
No. Detroit got spanked. Washington won the week before against Tampa by a field goal.
Yeah, that first 4v5 game or whatever. Because the AFC is such a gauntlet. It's just they didn't even make the playoffs.
Vikings got hosed by they lost
Rams.
to the Rams.
They lost the Rams, yeah.
There's a team you're forgetting, guys, and I honestly think they're going to be the number 1 seed. And they're going to
The
the
69ers?
49ers, yes. Tell me who they lose on their schedule. They go 15-2 minimum.
With Salah as their defensive coordinator,
Yes.
you might be onto something.
Wow, that's a good schedule. Holy shit, give us a look at that.
Yeah, so read it out for the viewers, Mitch, or the listeners.
Niners 2025 regular season opponents. Home, obviously the 3 divisional teams. Atlanta, Carolina, Chicago, Jacksonville, Tennessee. Wow.
Shit.
Road, the 3 divisional games. New Orleans,
Oh, wow.
New York Giants,
Wow.
Tampa Bay, Houston, Indianapolis, Cleveland.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
Generous.
Number 1 seed loading.
That's Jesus. That's one of the easiest schedules you've seen in a long. Obviously, yeah.
The,
Wow.
their division's
I
hard.
reckon they bottom right out at the end deliberately. Now, even if they split, they should win
Minimum 13
11
games.
out of 11 of the non-divisional games. They'll
You would
be
think.
really strong favourite against. And you could make an argument that
Houston,
they
maybe.
lose in Houston, and I don't know. You could probably make an argument for Atlanta beating them, maybe. But wow.
So, yeah, I see San Fran number 1. But
I'm
again,
not much.
maybe.
I'm not much of a draw analyst. 8 months before the season starts. But that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was worth raising, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we go into our next topic, the big news that came out is we're hosting a game in 2026 in Melbourne, as they say.
We are. Good little change of pace there, Evan. We are hosting a game.
And that's a
2026
disgrace.
in
Melbourne should not get it. The MCG, I get it's an extra 20,000 people in seats.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
so
shit spectacle.
shit. It's an oval, guys. It's an oval.
It's in the name cricket ground. It's in the name.
Yeah, it's also an AFL stadium. Like it's an oval. You're gonna be, if you want like sideline seats, you're gonna be fucking 30 meters from
Have you got a photo?
the actual sideline.
Yeah.
It's
disappointing.
horrible.
Yeah, disappointing to not have it in a rectangular stadium here that fits only 18,000 less, but it's 18,000.
Yeah. Well, it is a money game and it costs a lot. But I did see something really interesting that did get announced today. We were talking about this off air. We are trying to work out when would it be. So I did see that it got announced that it's going to be week 1, likely Thursday night game. What was I saying?
Yeah,
if
you
I
were
was the
correct.
NFL, I would
LA.
do it. Yeah, probably LA, because that way they could do it at sort of midday, which at that time of year is going to be roughly 7 or 8 p.m. LA time. Right, so you got players sort of flying for 13 hours instead of flying for 20 plus. You can get in if it's week 1. You can, because now we don't have like a week 4 preseason game. It's a bye week, so you can get out here 7 days early, acclimatize yourself, play a game at midday, go back. If it's on a Thursday night, which will be Friday morning or midday for us here in Australia. If your next game's not until Sunday the following week, it all works out.
Yeah,
No
I
one's
think that's
upset.
what they'll do.
Just
Yeah.
look how shit this is. I'm going to try and show the camera. I'll show the guys. That's an absolute disgrace.
I'll put it up to this camera here. Let me see if I can get behind it and show everyone. Because this is horrible. Like, how as a spectator are you going to see anything? Hang on, give me a second. Sorry. Can you guys see that on the camera? It's poor. I'm going to click this to focus it. There we go. Look at that. Someone describe this. Oh, phone went off. Oh, well, fuck, whatever.
I'll show the guys so they can see as well. Look at that. We're going to go to a game. You got to get...
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right if you're going to be standing on the grass, but you could basically play a football game in between the fucking sideline.
You need to be
and
like
the
tier
crowd.
2, tier 3. Tier 1, you're seeing nothing on the ground.
Oh, yeah, it's within
There's no bad
so
seeing
far
the
back.
MCG, but yeah, just to have
That one is.
to have a sport that's rectangular.
Yeah. Anyway.
Looks weird even when they play soccer and the field's wider.
True. Matthew,
Yeah.
over to you, my friend, because the
Yeah.
Super Bowl wasn't the only thing to happen in the last 4 weeks. There was a lot that happened in the last 4 weeks. So, Matthew, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown and tell us what's been happening around the league, my boy?
Yeah, well, the morning of, or at least for us, a bit of news out of New York. It's Evan's phone. Yeah. it's in
Oh,
the
it
phone.
is.
Yep.
It is.
Bit of news out of New York. Aaron Rodgers parting ways with the Jets, reportedly parting ways with the Jets. No crazy carousel as yet, but also speculation that Russell Wilson is no more at Pittsburgh. I don't see him coming back.
He's going back
That's
to
pretty
Denver.
good, yeah, and no surprise.
I reckon Giants.
And as we know, Kirko got benched towards the end of the season in favour of
Captain
Michael
Kirk.
Penis. So he is likely out as well. So we've got some veterans out on the market, guys. What are the odds that any one of these three actually see the field?
Cap
This
space
year.
hell for Atlanta already. Damn.
Yeah.
I'll see the field, but yeah.
Yeah, of
where
course.
I
Will
stand.
they?
Will
there
Justin Fields see a
What's
field?
the over
Yeah, so
under?
many quarterbacks get hurt. I'd
Yeah.
say if all three, if no one retires, all three of them will see the field at some stage.
But there are more than 3
Well-
quarterback needy teams. Like, that's the reality in the NFL this year.
And it's not an overly deep quarterback
Yeah.
draft.
It's
either.
not. It's not. Once you get past Shador, who wouldn't even be the first. Like, Shador and Cam Ward
Cam
wouldn't
Ward.
be the
Yeah.
first round pick in the draft last year.
It was
right?
funny because just before he came to the pub, they had all the mock drafts.
Yeah.
Someone had Shador going to the New
Jets.
York Jets.
Well, most of
He
the
won't
mock
fall to
drafts.
seven.
The mock drafts at this point in time, it's going to change so much.
Yeah,
between
it's
now
crazy.
and
If
April.
Shador was available, would you want the Jets to take him?
No, I want the Jets to trade down and actually do a proper rebuild. Unfortunately, what the Jets have done is they've said, we're going to rebuild, and then they go and draft a quarterback very, very high. Right now, we've got Tyrod Taylor in at quarterback. I'm actually okay with that, believe it or not. I don't think it couldn't be any worse than what we just went through. And I would argue that, by the way, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the total... Well, he wasn't the biggest problem on the team. The problem was the defense dropped out the arse, and that Woody was Woody, right? And I don't want to get into the Jets and trials and tribulations like I do every fucking episode. But the point is, quarterback position wasn't the biggest problem. But I do think Tyrod Taylor is serviceable. I think he's serviceable. I think that you trade back, you acquire extra picks, you build the line. You build the line to protect the next guy. And you know what? Build a team around whoever the quarterback will be in 2026. But this year, I'm not saying tank. I'm just saying acquire extra draft capital, really focus on the line, get your main guys sorted. You know, you need to make guys like Garrett Wilson happy. So go and get him fucking sorted with a new contract. Go and get... Look,
do you reckon Adams stays?
Oh, no, Adams is a foregone conclusion. He's gone. He's got a $38 million cap hit next year, or an 8 cap hit if he gets cut.
Oh, so dumb if he stays.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I mean, he wouldn't want to be there.
No,
Surely
unless his boyfriend was going to be there, he's not going to be there.
What happens? So let's say like Aaron Rodgers fulfills the prophecy and does go to Minnesota.
Imagine that wide receiver room.
That'd be crazy.
Well,
would Devontae follow him? I mean, think about this.
Yeah, of course he would.
Now listen, think about this from Devontae's perspective. How old is he? Like
30.
Yeah, he's a 2 there, isn't he?
33.
At Minnesota, he's a 2.
No, he's a third maybe behind Addison.
Yeah.
Naylor's pretty fucking good. I mean, their wide receiver room is fucking good. But from his perspective, like he wants to win, right? In the last, his time at Vegas, he's kind of become forgotten.
33.
I'm not so confident he follows Aaron Rodgers again, man. Like he's getting on in years. He'll probably want to do a Miles Garrett and go to a contender. I actually don't see him following.
Buffalo.
Well, hang on a second. Slow down.
If Rodgers actually
slow down.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see him going to Minnesota if Rodgers goes there because he's going to go to a contender.
I didn't mean. Listen.
In the division, Buffalo.
If it is Minnesota, it makes sense, John. I was kind of I don't actually see Rodgers going to Minnesota. That'd be
me
wild.
either.
Oh no, I do because you don't know what's going to happen with JJ McCarthy, and they're not going to sign Sam Darnold to a 5-year contract. I actually see it happening. I definitely see it happening.
Do you see the Jets going for Sam?
Yeah, I do. And I'd be open to that. By the way, I would be open for
What'd you trade him
Sunshine
for?
Sam to
Or
come
you
home.
released him?
Bag of peanuts. I don't know. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But you know, it's listen. He's gone. He's learned from some different places. I'll tell you what was telling, right? Why I think that there might be an impending reunion. Did anyone watch the NFL Honors?
No.
So
Sort of.
Snoop made a joke. He was like, and how about Sam Darnold? I can't do
Yeah.
his accent, but he's like, Snoop. And he was like something along the lines of, he made a joke. He was like,
That's what happens when you get out of New York.
Yes, that's what happens when you get out of New York. You have a good season. And he was smiling up until that point. Then he went. So I don't know. I reckon maybe there's still a bit of love for the mono that he contracted in New York at a club with some young chick. Who knows?
What do you reckon? Maybe we'll go around. What do you reckon the Jets should... So we'll go all our teams, who they should draft or what they should do in draft night for an early prediction.
Well, we were doing news.
Well, we're still on the draft, so I thought we'd just have a quick bypass.
All right,
Oh,
let's go.
Gander.
Speed
All right.
round. Let's go.
Speed round. The Jets should trade back and just shore up the offensive line. That's it.
Ashon Genty to Dallas,
Oh,
please.
yeah. Great.
Genty.
Do you reckon he'd still be available by the
No,
time?
who's going to
Fuck
take? Who's going
no.
to take a running back that high? Everyone's saying the Raiders should. The Raiders do not need a running back. They need a lot of help.
Well, I'm not sure I put him in the same class as like a Bijan or a Gibbs, but they were drafted pretty high, and at least with Gibbs, it's like turned the franchise around in a lot of ways. So, what position did Dallas
Dallas
drafted
12.
this year? Oh, that phone, bro.
Sorry, I'll go
Put it
here.
away.
Yeah. So by the way, just a little side note, because hopefully the listeners can't hear this. Every time Evan does what he does, which is pull out his fucking phone, either to Snapchat some chick or to look at statistics, and we know you do both. Don't lie. I've seen you swipe on Tinder in these episodes,
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And he looks at his chick statistics too.
and he looks at those. you know how pilots say put it on fucking airplane mode so that I don't get interference in the radio. And we're like, oh, you can't fucking crash the plane. This is what pilots hear, Evan.
Okay.
Don't go on the plane.
He's holding it.
They say,
Don't go on a
"Don't
plane when
worry,
Evan's on it.
We're fucking coming down.
Okay, so we have Tennessee, Cleveland, New York, New England not taking a running back. Jacksonville not taking a running back. Vegas at 6 not taking a running back. Jets, you don't need a running back. Got your man Hall. Carolina got Chuba.
Man whore.
Chubba.
New Orleans maybe, but Kamara's still a brilliant running
They
back.
just re-signed him.
Yeah. Chicago, no. They've got people. 11. It wouldn't be surprising. It wouldn't be surprising if San Fran go for a 1-2 punch with McCaffrey and Genty. That's the only team I'm scared of taking them, San Fran. And then Dallas is at 12.
Not with Debo leaving, they need another wide receiver.
Or
They haven't got any
Yeah,
wide
plus
receivers.
they can
over
get
the
Ezekiel
season.
Elliott.
Shanahan
There is
loves to
not
run
one-
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, but-
I could say no.
Get
Bro.
Zeke. 500
Think
grand.
about, and I know Blake
Wins a
Corum.
Super Bowl at San Francisco.
I know Blake Corum didn't do very well this year at all, but LA really did not need a running back, and they had him as a second stringer.
Bro,
so I
bro.
can see, and it's from the same tree.
Yeah.
I
Think of it
see.
this way.
I agree with you.
That's the only team I'm
Name
worried.
me one wide receiver over fucking 5'10" at San Fran.
That
I
white
don't
guy
know-
they
I don't
had
know
towards
I don't
the
know
end.
their- I don't know
And
their
he wasn't
heights.
even. But this is the
I don't
thing.
know.
Get a
I
young
think
guy.
I think Juwan Jennings is like
Yeah,
six-
but he's not
6
going to be
foot.
there. He won't be there next year. So, like, this is the thing, right? Why I think they've got to go for a wide receiver is they need someone with height, and now with Debo leaving, you know, they'll get that big-bodied wide receiver
How
that they've been
tall is
looking
Ricky
for.
Pearsall? Is he 5 foot? Is he?
Probably like fucking
Anyway,
5'11".
Mitch, New England at
He
4.
survived a gunshot wound.
What do you
to the
reckon
chest,
they
bro.
do,
Well, he's taller.
or you want him to do at 4?
It's taller with lead in his
Draft
feet.
Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about Travis.
If he's at 4, the Patriots should obviously draft him.
100%.
Difference maker with a
Yep.
power arm young
Fair.
quarterback.
Do you reckon
like,
he drops?
Pretty
So you
simple.
do you reckon he drops because you have Tennessee, Cleveland, New York in front of you? So you have Tennessee taking a quarterback unless they get someone in free agency. Then they go Abdul Carter,
Yeah. Who's the third team?
Giants,
They'll go a quarterback.
and then Cleveland at 2.
Yeah. They probably need to go a quarterback now, don't they, as well?
Deshaun.
Well, how long's that? Yeah, because they got to pay the contract, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, wow, because they're never going to be able to get that off the books unless they just eat it.
And then Matt, you have your Seahawks at 18.
Yeah, at 18. Look, man, it'll be a linebacker first round, safety second round. I don't know who. I really don't. I haven't looked at the draft yet. Not sure who we would go for, but they're the kind of positions we need for us. Yeah, speed round done. All right,
Very
let's
good.
talk about. John and I did an episode last week, which I think got banned.
It got banned. I said some shit I shouldn't have said at the start, which happens
But that's
a lot.
okay, because we haven't, as a group, kind of covered the coaching carousel. So I think it's worth
True.
kind of going through it from the start, because
Yeah.
a lot has happened.
Let's go, Matty.
And from the top, we'll start with the Roosters. Oh, wait, no, the New England Patriots.
If I'm on a carousel, I want to be on it with you.
Thank you, Mitch. Mike Vrabel, now the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Stoked.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Go on.
which happened a year ago.
Go on.
His great record as a head coach, other than maybe his last year, where he had the fallout with the GM. Give him complete control of list building. He's proven a highly competent coach, super physical player and coach. Love it. Can't wait.
Yeah, things weren't
Agreed.
really working out all that well for Gerard Mayo, but kind of done dirty. I mean, you know, was kind of the heir apparent, built up toward that position, only given one chance at it. But he just could not win that locker room. Just really did not have command of that locker room at all. Yeah, love the hire.
I think Mike Vrabel has had command of all locker rooms he's been in as a player
100%.
and coach.
100%.
Yep. Agreed.
And to Chicago, no surprises. Ben Johnson jumps across from Detroit to Chicago, the hottest prospect, and it wasn't a hard decision. He barely took any interviews. He was pretty convinced he was going to go to Chicago. But what do we think of this move, guys? I mean, going into division, it's known to happen, but
It is known to happen, but you don't see anyone really into division being like, I'm not going to take interviews from anyone else. In fact, the
Yeah.
last time I saw that, I feel like the last time that really happened was Mangini. That's the last time I remember it being such a big deal. Was Mangini, because Mangini was adamant he was going to go to the Jets, and you know, after telling Belichick that he was probably going to stay, I think even something along those lines as OC, and so as DC, sorry. So there's a part of me that says, shit, is this a little bit like that? You know, we're going to see like this ultimately smothering and squashing by old mate up in Detroit because of this little bit of fucking interdivisional violence. Interesting move.
Yeah, it is.
I don't
really
know.
Interesting.
You don't see it happen very often. You just don't see it happen often.
No, and the other coordinator, Aaron Glenn, decided to go as far away as possible, out of the division, out of the conference, to the New York Jets, back home.
Back home.
John, what are your thoughts, Aaron Glenn?
You know, I like Aaron Glenn.
It's hard to get excited, I think.
Well, yeah, it's very hard to get excited as a Jets fan. I'll tell you the biggest problem I have is that we've once again gone for a rookie head coach and a rookie GM, you know? And this is just something that's been happening every 5 years. At what point do you say, do we change it a little bit? Look, I agree with the hiring. I really like Aaron Glenn as a people motivator. I hope that he can build a good staff. Good start with bringing on board Steve Wilkes as DC. I thought that was a really good start. Hopefully that Fangio type, you know, been in the league a really long time, bit of an older dude, but if he can pull the defense together, that'll be great. A real unknown. He was the quarterbacks coach in Detroit that's become the OC. So God knows what the fuck's going to happen there for someone who didn't call any plays or even sniff half the playbook. But anyway, we'll find out.
From what we know.
From what we know, you're right, from what we know. But I think the thing is this, like, if I had my choice, I probably would have chosen Sexy Rexy, I'll be honest. Because I haven't had that much fun as a Jets fan in a really long time. But the sensible move was probably to hire... Yeah, it was probably to go and hire Aaron Glenn. So I'm all right with it. It's just that, you know, as a Jets fan, as Mitch just said, it's hard to be excited because we just did this what felt like not that long ago. Or we just did this with Salah and JD, all of 4 years ago. And then there was the lovely Adam Gase prior to that. And then there was McCagnon and Todd Bowles. And then, that's right. McCagnon and Todd Bowles, and then before that there was Mike Tannenbaum and Sexy Rexy, Mike. But then there was like a random guy named John Idzik that came into GM for 1 year. The infamous 12. The Jets had 12 draft picks in his first and only draft. And instead of like using it to trade up and create all this extra, value or whatever it was, he picked all 12 and none of them stuck in the team past 2 years.
Damn.
It was horrendous. And then before that it was Mangini. Before that it was Herm, I think.
Before that it was Belichick.
No, well, yeah, true.
Yeah,
for a day.
Yeah.
And if we really want to keep going back,
Pete
before
Carroll.
that it was there was Pete Carroll for a year as well, and then before that there was Rich Kotite.
Wow.
Who was
Yeah.
the coach in 1969?
Well, I can tell you who the defensive coordinator was. Rex Ryan's dad.
Oh.
There you go. Anyway, enough about the fucking New York Jets. I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, we'll go on to a much more interesting franchise in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh!
Duval.
Duval.
This guy.
What a fucking loser.
Duval.
He's going to get sacked his first year.
Yeah, and John and I spoke about this, but worth going over again. One of the more bizarre hirings.
Who is
The
he?
whole
in
process is just...
The process. So just for the audience, the process. So who he is?
Yeah.
He's the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. First year, after who was the previous one? Went to Carolina. I can't remember his name. Anyway, first year offensive coordinator, and goes for an interview with the Jags. Turns them down and is enriched one of the highest paid offensive coordinator contracts in principle with the Bucs. The next day or two after, GM at the Jags gets fired, and then Liam Cohen sneaks back to Jacksonville and agrees to be the head coach. So it seems like the sticking point was Trent Baalke, the GM, apparently not pleasant to work with, and Liam Cohen, I mean, how brazen, like, to accept something in principle and to go back to the Bucs and actually say, hey, can I interview like half your staff as well? And they politely tell him to fuck off. And top it all off with a introductory press conference to remember. Duval.
What I want to know, why would he need to interview some of the Tampa staff that he'd already worked with?
True.
Yeah.
It is bizarre. It is a strange one, and who the fuck knows? Who the fuck
Jacksonville
cares,
are
really? But moving on to the the
Trevor
Raiders.
Lawrence should get the fuck out of
Raiders.
there ASAP.
The Raiders and Pete Carroll. This is something I did not have on
That
the big
AFC
radar.
West coaching
Holy
tree.
shit.
What the
I'm
fuck?
excited by this one, by the way. Very excited.
Yeah, the Raiders, if he can get their shit together, they're
Sure.
interesting.
Chip Kelly is
Big
OC.
brand.
Yeah, Chip Kelly as
Yeah,
well.
oh, that's so
San Fran great. Philly great.
Amazing.
Yeah, we talked about this. San Fran for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
It was San Fran for 1
That
year.
was when they went
Yeah.
2-14.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they've had some coaches, eh?
He is OC, not head coach, but yeah.
Jim Tom Sula. Remember that one?
Jim Tom Sula,
4
yeah.
and 12.
Well-
Jimmy T.
Do you know who my favorite Niners coach of all time was? Mike Singletary. Remember his press conferences?
No.
I loved him. He was just such a funny fucking guy. Like, just so totally not there. Just like not there in these, not like in a Belichick way, in like a really skittish, I'm on meth kind of way.
Like the
I don't
last
know, really hard to
15
describe.
years of like Jim Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, except for the Chip Kelly and Jim Tom Sula solitary years each. Like the Niners have been good, but everyone thinks they've been good for like 30 years. But the middle 15, they were just horse shit.
What about the stat
From
I
like
put in
the
the chat?
mid-90s to like 2010, they were
The
just
stat I put in
Alex
the chat
Smith
about
was
the Niners.
nothing.
The
Yeah.
past 20 years.
The past 20 years
All
have
or
either
nothing.
missed the playoffs or they've made the championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one or the
you
other.
go. There you go.
Yeah, well, I think Pete's going to be I'm not sure how many years. It's like 2 or 3 years or something like
Great
that.
addition.
He's like 73 years old, still has the juice, but yeah, a good culture builder, bridge coach. I love Pete Carroll, so I also think that division is just insane.
Do you play the Raiders this year, Seahawks?
I don't know, I haven't had a look at the schedule yet. But let's talk about Brian Schottenheimer just to
Oh,
cap
let's
us
not,
off with
please.
the
Oh,
Dallas
please,
Cowboys.
no.
What are your thoughts? Come on,
Oh
tell us.
God, we've a couple of us on this table have got experience with Brian.
Yes.
Schottenheimer,
That's the
don't
funny thing as
The
well.
worst offensive coordinator now. Probably not the worst, actually. I don't think it was all
we?
that bad.
He was pretty bad for the
He
Jets.
was pretty. Yeah.
I mean, he's Mark Sanchez. It was Mark Sanchez years, and you got to ask yourself how much can you put that on Mark Sanchez? It was coming out of college pretty well regarded, and how much do you put on this offensive coordinator? Anyway, Evan, how do you feel?
Just confusing. Jerry Jones is an old fucking idiot. How do you reject? I'm sorry, you reject Mike McCarthy interviewing people, and then 3 days later, because you can't agree to the length of contract, you tell him to get fucked, and you're like, you know what? Let's get the OC who didn't call any plays to coach the Dallas Cowboys. That's smart. He didn't even. I don't know who he even interviewed. Salah. I don't even know. It's just frustrating. It really is. I don't know. He was apparently he goes, oh, I just did it for the publicity. I never did it for the actual coaching or wanted the attention. Whatever the fuck. Jerry Jones even talking about, oh, I'm surprised I wouldn't have signed Dak to this contract, but I didn't think he could make the Super Bowl. The cunt's on cocaine, drugs, I don't know, speed, meth.
I think it's the glory holes.
Gloria.
All in my arse.
Glory hole.
Can't wait for our free agency to sign one tackle and we do nothing else.
See, okay, so for someone so confident they're going to win the division, he just doesn't sound that way right now, does he?
It's
We're
just
going to win the division. It's going to happen because no one else has ever fucking won the
I
NFC.
just say because I think if
back-to-back.
Dak at the helm always beats the NFC East. If he does his job and doesn't get injured or fuck his hamstring or
So
knee.
you're saying, in spite of the fact that he's
Yes.
going to have a shitty offensive coordinator and you guys are going to do another rubbish Taco Charlton draft?
Here we go. Oh, fuck. Tarkin Charlton. That's a great name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Let's
But,
cap it off. We've gone from
They should
Shit
trade,
signing.
They should trade CD Lamb to New England
No.
for some high-end draft picks and bottom right.
Trade Micah Parsons to KC. Fuck it. Just get all their first. Even though it's a late first rounders, get picks. Fuck it. They can retire Chris Jones the following year and pay Micah Parsons. Smart.
It's a decent option for Kansas City.
All right,
Matthew?
and the one head coaching job that is technically still open, New Orleans Saints. I don't think Kellen Moore is going too far after the Super Bowl victory.
He ain't leaving.
He's
He's
a sure
partying,
thing.
and then he's starting.
Cowboy grade.
Although Sirianni was very vocal on the mic, urging Kellen to stay, to run it back. I'm not sure if you guys watched much of the
No, we
post-game
didn't.
Nah.
stuff. He
We're
was
too
like,
busy talking.
yeah, with that guy
Kendrick
who
Lamar.
wanted some bags. We couldn't
Oh,
produce.
God.
What was your name, Brad?
I walk in, I'm the only one who looks like a true ethnic, and he comes up to me for fucking bags. Like, seriously?
It's been true. I think I got a fucking afro, bro.
No, but you don't look like a true.
Me and
let's
Mitch are
not
talking
get let's
about
not
no
get
love
into
in
let's not get
Oklahoma.
into the denomination that you might look like, Matt. But
Sit on both
Is this the
sides,
Howie Roseman?
fighting both,
Cousin of
fighting
Roseman?
for both sides in Gaza.
The peace treaty
Sorry.
signed by Matt Nichols.
Sorry,
Ceasefire.
sorry. The Middle East Riviera.
oh, fucking hell. Anyway, yeah. So
Kellen Moore.
finish your point about Kellen Moore. It's getting late now, world. By the way, we're doing this podcast later now because we have children that don't like to go to sleep on time. So it's now almost 11 p.m. Anyway,
Eastern time.
Yeah, that's all the coaching stuff. That's all the news. What
True.
else we got, boys? Let's go.
I
Let's
think
move
that's
on,
it.
move
Well-
on, move on.
Dennis Allen's still available.
no, but you know who did get a job? Chuck Pagano. Return of Chuck Pagano.
Yes, that's right.
Indy
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, indie great, fucking soundbite great. Let
Where'd
me
he
tell
go?
you that bloke.
Where's Chuck Pagano gone?
Where's he? DC now? Oh.
Dallas.
Is it,
Chuck
Palumbo, not the WWE wrestler.
Pagano? Ravens.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, Ravens. How about that? That's going to be interesting. I like Chuck. I guess we're going to finish with garbage time. And Evan's got a really good question to line us up for the future of this podcast,
The SK Sportscast.
the SK Sportscast, because we're going to start introducing some NRL talk. NRL's in the preseason, and which means we're going to have some action to go over very, 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 very soon. And we know that there are some American listeners out there who don't currently get
Have a team.
into... Yeah, they don't have an NRL team.
They don't know
might
what the
wanna-
teams are.
They
who the
don't
teams
even
are.
know what they are. All we've said so far is that there's a team called the Cocks, and you guys are like, wow, the Cocker Spaniels, the Cockneys? No, just the Cocks.
But yeah, Garbage Time is sponsored by the Kansas City O-line because, man, they got left in KC, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So the question is, or even a statement for those NFL fans, if you want to support the NRL, these are the teams. We're going to try and find your team through the list and tell you who the counterpart is.
Exactly. We're going to try and pair you up with a team, kind of like a surrogate type thing, or like a big brother, big sister type of thing.
So there's 17 NRL teams, so some teams double up because we
That
need
is true.
fans.
But that is good
Yes.
for the NRL.
So we'll
So you're going to call an NFL team?
and you guys can tell us NRL and we'll come to an agreement.
or do you call the NRL? Well, no, because there's only a few.
No, because we want NFL fans to be
Yeah.
fans.
Right.
Of
We're
Okay.
gonna go through the list.
All right. I like that. Okay.
Start
let's go.
easy. The Buffalo Bills. Who is their NRL team? A team that's lost 4 times in the 90s, 4 straight Super Bowls.
North Sydney. No, they're not there anymore.
I don't know. Who is it?
That's a good team to start with, Ev. The Bills. So let's say there's a team always in the finals. They never get over the hurdle.
I didn't realize this was a quiz. I thought it was a discussion.
Never. I can't think of
We
a
can
team.
double them up. They could be a Parramatta.
Yeah, I think Parramatta's
Probably Para.
most likely. Yeah.
Buffalo and Parramatta.
So for the Buffalo fans, Parramatta won
Both-
4 premierships in the 80s, but they haven't done anything since.
and both very undesirable places to live.
Yes, big fan base, but you don't want to go out there. Next, the Miami Dolphins.
Shout out to everyone from Parramatta.
Miami Dolphins.
Well, the Miami Dolphins have to be the new team that's coming out in Miami.
Oh,
There is a new team,
yes.
and they're in Miami Beach in Gold Coast.
Redcliffe.
Redcliffe. Redcliffe. Yeah, it's Miami
Dolphins.
Beach.
So there is a team called the Dolphins, the Redcliffe
Miami-
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Which is Miami Beach. The
No.
beach is called Miami Beach.
Miami's in Gold Coast.
Yeah, where's Redcliffe?
Like
Queensland.
north of Brisbane.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, never
But
mind.
they are. No, I think it's Redcliffe because they're called the Dolphins from the Sunshine State.
So yeah, Dolphins are
That's
Dolphins. You don't have to change
But
much there.
but the Dolphins have got like this undefeated season. And who's the team that's
Redcliffe were
who's
probably
had-
undefeated in the 70s. Who knows?
Who's it? Is there an NRL team that went undefeated? I think
St.
it's
George.
You
Jackie
gotta
did.
go back to like the 1950s and
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fuck that then. Don't worry about it.
Talking about, old mate, the Jets. If you're unfortunately a Jets fan, who do you reckon the NRL counterpart is? A team that's done fuck all the last 50
Let me
years.
think. Poor boardroom, constant coaching changes, underachievement, West Tigers.
Mind you, the Jets fans, the Tigers have had the spoon 3 years in a row or 2? 3?
Uh,
3, yeah.
NFL guys, so, and this is going to be good, by the way, because I am like getting back into NRL, which means that for the NFL guys out there, I can do some translations. He said spoon, and what he means is the wooden spoon,
Worst
and that's
record.
the worst record. Why it's a wooden spoon, I'm not quite sure. Does anyone know?
Oh, it's just safer to stir food with the wooden than Steel League.
Than the
I've got
trophy.
wide
Anyway,
week.
point being is if you
Conducts
hear wooden
heat as well.
spoon, wooden
I
spoon
have
means
no
the
idea.
worst team with the
Yeah.
worst
It's a
record.
random term. I don't know what it's from.
Yeah,
It's a British
but-
expression used to describe a person or team that finishes last. It's because there's no actual use for a wooden spoon.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're
enough.
useless.
Well,
that it feels
Mitch
like
has
the
come up
Jets.
with a great
Sure.
use case to stir things that are really hot, and you don't want to use
Yeah,
a metal
could-
spoon.
Most people cook with wooden spoons.
Yeah, I think
more
they're very
than-
useful.
More than steel. Fucking.
In Greek, we call them a kutala, and your
Kutala.
parents usually smack you with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than the batofla, 100%.
Better than than a shoe.
Mitch's team, the NFL, the New England Patriots. Could it be the
Dynasty,
cock on his head?
Probably the cock on his head, I
No,
would
no,
say.
Melbourne Storm.
You reckon
Yeah,
Melbourne
yeah,
Storm?
Melbourne
Really?
Storm.
Yeah.
Synonymous coach, captain.
Okay.
100%.
True.
Melbourne Storm always in the grand final. Great
Which is the
record.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bellamy's been the coach there for what, 15 years nearly?
True.
20.
Bellamy sounds like Belichick.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cameron Smith.
They were cheating. They were cheating as
They
well.
cheated.
Oh,
They
they
did
cheated.
cheat.
They got premiership stripped off them because they're above the salary cap.
Yeah, they did cheat. See, that's what happens in our sport. We're much more brutal. We take trophies away, and then no one won that year.
Asterisks. Give it to Para Manly. AFC West, easy one. The Chiefs, they're the Penrith Panthers. They've won 4 years in a row. They have a golden boy named Nathan Cleary, who, if you touch him, you get penalised and suspended.
Okay, cool. That is actually a very, very good comparison, by the
That's
way,
the
Evan.
easiest
That is, you nailed that one.
I was about to say Los Angeles Chargers, but they are.
Yeah.
I was going to say
yeah.
San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh God, the Chargers.
The Bolts.
I feel like the Chargers are kind of like the Bulldogs.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
unprotected sex. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
The
some
Chargers
Bulldogs
are
got Phillip
there.
Rivers.
So
Yeah,
the-
Phillip
so the-
Antonio Cromartie too.
Yeah,
You
a
know?
bit of Sharks vibes to them,
So,
I reckon.
Gold Coast Titans.
Oh yeah.
Titans.
Why?
Yeah, no, same colours too.
Same
colours. And
colours.
Gold Coast were once the Chargers.
Yeah, they were.
They were. That's
Yeah, that's a
our
great
call.
Very niche
Wow,
97,
okay.
98 areas. I like it. Yeah.
So, yeah, Gold Coast, not a bad place to live either. So, Gold Coast Titans for your Chargers fans.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos, is this an easy one? Do we just go Broncos the Broncos?
No, not necessarily because I think.
Yeah, I mean, like Denver's had success. Brisbane certainly had a lot of success.
In the 90s as well?
It's hard when they got the same mascot not to have the same, isn't it?
it
But
is.
they are
It
kind
is.
of they're kind of similar though. Like
They
in
both have a
terms of
young
just,
player,
like-
Bo Nix and Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Broncos, you're Broncos. You are the Brisbane Broncos, the main team of Queensland, the Grubs.
We don't like them. We're from New South Wales.
Queenslander.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Ugh.
Well, I mean, you know, just to draw the same comparisons, very hard not to say the Canberra Raiders.
Nah, Canberra.
yeah.
Canberra, but like, they're
They're
always
more buttoned up.
They're
though.
more buttoned up.
Yeah.
And they're
They
always
are.
they're always in and around the 8. Like I wouldn't say Raiders. I'd say
They got a big brand.
Yeah.
They've been irrelevant for years. Dragons.
Dragons.
Dragons,
Yes,
yes.
Dragons.
And they
Yeah.
lost their identity, as you said.
Yeah.
So the St. George
Yeah.
Illawarra Dragons.
That's
Nah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Poor Steelers.
Then we go to the Baltimore Ravens. Team always in the playoffs, but can't get over the hurdle since 2013. I think they won. Last time we won the Superdome.
I'm actually thinking Cronulla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels like Cronulla.
Yeah.
Cronulla
me too.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Cronulla.
Youngish franchise. As
Yeah.
well.
Not bad.
Yeah.
The Steelers, Pittsburgh. Could we say this is the Roosters?
Nah, Bulldogs.
The Doggies?
Big physical,
Yeah.
blue collar, like yeah.
Canterbury.
Made the finals
perennially
like
fairly
twice
good,
in
which
20
Canterbury have
years.
been other than the last 3 or 4
And think
years.
about the
Yeah.
places. Pittsburgh and Canterbury Bankstown. The working man.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I like
Cincinnati
that.
Bengals.
Bengals.
The Bengals are like Canberra. I would say the Bengals feel like Canberra. They're a team that is again in and around that 8 fairly consistently. They are a well buttoned team.
Yeah.
You know,
cold,
they're-
cold as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cold as fuck. you know.
Generationally good attacking or offensive
Yeah.
team like the Raiders
Yep.
of the 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Not anymore. But
And
Could
I
we
feel
say
like that
maybe
makes
the
sense.
Rabbitohs?
A few Rangers in the team at some point too.
Bengals and Rabbitohs. Bengals always
Rabbitohs,
top
Rabbitohs got to be a bigger brand than the Bengals.
I like the Bengals.
Easy.
Rabbitohs are probably going to be the Giants.
Fuck the yeah.
Well, let's not jump teams,
That's
but
right.
yeah, we'll go with.
Let's not jump to it.
Who do we agree with again? The Raiders.
Yeah,
the
I think
Raiders.
it's good.
That's okay. We can double up.
Yeah.
We need a lot of fans.
Yeah, we got to double up.
And fuck,
We got fit in 32 into 17.
who's the shit of the shit? Cleveland Browns.
Tigers.
Tigers again. Oh,
Yeah.
You joined the
Fuck,
Jets. You get Cleveland.
Wow. Yeah, how about that?
What
Imagine
about
Deshaun Watson on the Jets.
They're the
Then are we
same
going to throw
colours
the
as the Tigers.
we're going to throw the Titans in there too, though.
No, the Titans are they're just the coast as well.
We have
Yeah.
the Texans, Houston, the newest team. Do we just say
Who's the newest team?
the Dolphins?
The Dolphins. Their expansion franchise.
Hmm?
Haven't won
Could
anything
you
yet.
say the Titans maybe with the Texans? Both coming in 2000s.
Which Titans?
The Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, it's going to be confusing because there's the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
They're fighting the same division as well. We can't do that. Mitch can get up. Do you know, Mitch, you get the NRL, I'll get the NFL, so I'm not going back and forth.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it has to be the Titans.
The Colts. Great team in the 2000s. Done fuck all since then.
Milk
Newcastle.
Yes.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Knights.
I
that's
was,
a
I
good
was
one.
going to say.
Blue collar city,
Fuck,
Peyton
that's
Manning,
perfect.
Andrew Johns. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Andrew
fuck,
Joey
that is
Johns,
so-
the
that is-
immortal we
That
have.
is,
Yeah.
that is perfect.
That would
Although
have to
Andrew
be-
Luck was
that'll be
better than anyone the
Pittsburgh
poor
too,
old
then.
Knights have had since.
Oh, they had Kurt Gidley.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
He did. He was there for a while.
Yeah.
Not
Somehow
as like a,
New South Wales fullback. No wonder we lost 8 series. It was slow as fuck. Jacksonville.
He only played about 2 of them series.
Oh,
didn't he?
Jacksonville are unfortunately like another team that like St.
Tigers.
George.
Another West
Another
Tigers.
Tigers, yeah.
Yeah, Jacksonville Tigers.
Okay. And the Titans, Tennessee.
Tigers.
Fuck.
Nah, Tennessee have been
They're flashes.
They were good most years in the Vrabel era.
Yeah, true.
Oh no, you wouldn't say Cowboys have won
No.
something.
Is Tannehill still a quarterback?
Yeah.
Think so.
Really?
I
They're a
don't
bit
know.
off Broadway, but they had go through like 2 or 3 year runs. Maybe the Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't
We
mentioned
haven't said the
Wars.
Wars, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Up the
Tennessee.
Waz.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fit. I like that.
Yeah.
That feels right.
Okay, now we jump to the NFC side, and unfortunately, I have to say the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles would be the Manly Seagulls. They're hated. They have Eagles in their name,
Yeah, they're
and they're from fucking Brookvale.
And they're always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it comes
true.
to my team, we both hate each other
Apt.
in NRL terms.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Washington. Do we go to the capital? Do we go Canberra?
Well, no, who's a real like?
Yeah,
like,
Washington were really good in the 90s, same as Canberra. Or maybe
Yeah.
the late 80s more.
But who's
Washington
who's
were.
like a young team that's just started winning again? I feel like that's the Bulldogs.
Dogs?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's the Bulldogs. They've only just started really winning again. Young team,
Yeah, big,
you know,
like...
churned off the big salaries.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are probably the second biggest club in Sydney.
Yeah,
Yeah, the big...
you got Terry
What happened there?
McLaughlin and Josh Adokar.
He's gone now.
No, I'm good. And then my team, Dallas Cowboys, it's an easy one. You're my team, who I support in the NRL, the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah,
Haven't won anything
life
since the
imitates
80s.
art.
Big fan base, expectation with a halfback Moses who's on 1.2 million, which around a highest paid NRL players around 1.3, 1.4.
Yeah, he's Dak. He's the 10th.
Dakota.
He's the
10th
Dak.
best-
Andy got injured last year, yes.
The 5th
So,
or
yeah.
6th best player in his position.
Unfortunately,
getting paid the most money
yes.
in the league.
So
Yeah.
Para and Manly are one of the biggest rivals, so it makes sense that Philly's Manly and Para is the...
Oh, this is good from you. This is
I
quality
know.
content.
Are the New York Giants.
Ooh, okay. Who won a lot and then fluked it a couple of times recently? Other than
Roosters.
doing nothing now. Now they're
Nah, the
shit.
Roosters
Nah,
are good.
fluked it, but now they're shit.
4
The
titles
Knights
in the
would
last
have.
16 years.
The Knights fluked it in 01 and 98.
Depends
I
on the
would say
time
St.
horizon.
George.
Do we say?
No.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the Rabbitohs.
I feel
Depends
like-
on the time horizon.
I feel like
Yeah.
St. George. I feel like St. George because
St.
now
George.
they're going to be really
St. George
fucking
better,
rubbish.
Yeah, probably St. George.
And they fluked it a couple of times, but then
Oh, they
and-
haven't 2010 and then before them, when did they win St. George?
Never has
Yeah.
emerged.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
The LA Rams. Roosters.
Ooh, aging team. Yeah,
Still a big brand.
Tedesco
Always-
is akin to
Yeah.
Is
Roosters
akin to
aren't as
Matt
aging
Stafford?
now, but yeah.
They had some dark years with Fisher,
Yeah. Roosters
and
haven't
then
had
became
many
good
dark
with a
years.
young head
Yeah,
coach.
2008, the wooden spoon. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
for the
that's-
Cox, that's the Sydney Roosters.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
had that
Yeah.
period of like 2004 to 2013, other than 2010. Only one playoff appearance. New coach.
So,
Still
yeah.
the coach, Sean McVay, Trent Robinson. Yeah.
As well,
Yeah, yeah.
for the NFL fans,
The
we,
Cox.
we call it the finals, not
Yeah.
the playoffs. So, yeah.
Well, we actually
Yeah,
do call
yeah.
it the playoffs now.
Do we?
yeah, they
A
do.
lot of the
Oh,
vernacular.
yeah, do you
has
know how we
shifted
call it the
now.
end zone now? No, they say the red zone.
The red zone.
The
yeah.
red zone
Yeah.
when we win the 20. Thanks
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's
Uh,
good ball. Good ball.
Seattle Seahawks, Matt's team. Who do you reckon you are?
Cronulla.
Won once, had a decent defense. Yeah, Cronulla.
Cronulla again. Yeah. Who did we say Cronulla before? We had someone else.
Oh, no, we
Cronulla,
should have put it
didn't
down. Doesn't matter.
we? We'll listen
The
back.
Cardinals. Arizona. Dry, yucky.
Are you on Tinder again?
I want fucking enter all up.
Uh,
The Cowboys.
so hang on, did we get anyone for Arizona?
No, not yet. I'm going to say the Cowboys.
North Queensland? No, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about fucking Dallas again. Come on.
No more.
8-11 in Oklahoma.
Oh, Jada Pinkett.
North
We're
Queensland.
nearly there. Don't worry. We're nearly there, guys.
North Queensland.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Niners.
Roosters.
Ooh,
Roosters
yeah,
again.
that feels like it
Yeah,
makes
Roosters
sense.
again.
It feels
Main
like it makes
team.
sense.
Can't get over the hump. Always in the top
Hey,
4.
we got over the hump a bit, but yeah.
The
Big
Detroit
brand.
City Lions would be New Zealand Warriors. The fan
Yeah,
favorite. Everyone roots
I would
for.
agree. I would agree. Well,
The
although,
outcast.
although I would say like Detroit's never made it a Super Bowl, and the Wars, my team, has actually made our version of it.
2002
the
and
finals,
2011, we said.
grand final.
Yep.
Yeah,
Didn't win it
recently
though,
enough.
but still.
Yeah, but that's more than Detroit have done. But I'll take that comparison. I think that's fair.
The Vikings. Do we just say the Raiders because of the logo?
See, now you're just getting lazy
I
and
know.
tired. This is bullshit.
No,
This is
I'm not.
fucking this is rubbish. This is not
Minnesota
how it's meant to be.
Vikings.
Cold, although their stadium's indoors, the city's cold.
The Vikings.
Yeah, it probably is the
The
Raiders.
late 90s, Raiders again. Raiders are getting a lot.
Mm.
Okay.
We are
should've,
recording this,
yeah.
but we're going to tally
course.
this and tell
Yeah, we'll
everyone.
put it. We'll tally it up
Put
and
it
put
on
it
Yeah,
on
we'll
our
find
Insta.
out, and I'm sure
We'll
there's
put it on
going to be
our
a bunch of
socials.
teams that didn't get
Yeah.
anyone.
This
Doesn't
is who you
matter.
should go for.
Yeah.
Yeah, who have we not mentioned?
Okay,
yet?
we haven't
No, I
mentioned.
think we have
We haven't
mentioned
mentioned the Rabbits, have we?
Nah.
No, fuck the Rabbitohs though. No one likes them anyway.
Could the
Ain't
Rabbits be
that
the
right.
Packers? Oh, the next team, the
The
Packers.
Rabbits are 100% the Packers.
The Packers?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Big
Won the
brand.
first 2 Super Bowls. The Rabbits won, I think, the first 5.
Wait,
you
but-
ask Green Bay and South fans, they'll tell you that they are the league.
Yes.
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
There's
They're the heart of the
there's
league.
there's a bit of Souths in Dallas as well.
Were the Packers ever
but
kicked out of the league?
I can take the Parramatta one. Oh, great.
Yeah,
years,
Rabbits
alright.
were kicked out
Can they
of
come
the
back? 2002.
2002.
I remember someone told
Ryan
me once
Fletcher.
when I was younger. They were like, you know, the Rabbitohs. It was a friend of my dad's. It's like they got kicked out of the league because of Foxtel.
You know what? There was a vote. There was 15 teams when they came back, or
Foxtel.
14, and then them. There was a 14-team vote to get them back in, and only the Roosters voted for them to come back in, and they still hate us.
Yeah, there you go.
Really?
The
Yeah.
Bears, Chicago.
Dollars and cents, mate. The rivalry needed.
The Bears. Well, apparently North Sydney's going to be coming back.
Yeah,
So do we
as
set you-
Western
do we s-
Australia.
Well, no,
Yeah, so do we
that's on
set
hold.
you up as the Bears?
Apparently, that's on ice.
Yeah.
Really?
PNG will be first.
Oh, PNG is Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I
Maybe
feel
Jacksonville can play, can share a stadium in Port Moresby. Trevor Lawrence in the compound. Hang on, is that Barbie? No, it's the,
It's a bed
how long's the flight from Easter Island to Port Moresby? I think OJ Simpson's in Port Moresby actually.
You reckon?
With Tupac.
Don't worry, guys. The last division,
Fucking
the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay.
Well, no, we didn't work out the Bears because the Bears might not actually be coming back. So the Bears are probably who's really shit at the moment in the NRL? Who's
The Knights.
out?
The Tigers.
Nah, the Tigers again.
No, I can't get
Fucking hell.
The
Bears
Dragons.
are too big a brand to be the Tigers.
They're probably
Rabbits?
our Dragons.
Yeah, Dragons or Parramatta.
Yeah, I would agree.
The Buccaneers.
All the fucking ears.
1 Super Bowl.
2.
Oh,
Two.
sorry, recently, sorry, 1.
Yeah.
2000s and 2020s.
A racist coach.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got some great Super Bowl winners.
Rabbits.
Booger McFarland, Tom Brady.
Good old booger. Yeah.
Two
True.
greatest players of all time.
True. Two greatest commentators.
Who do
of
we
all
go?
time.
Who we have? Tampa.
Could be
Tampa.
Rabbits. Tampa.
Nah, too young. Newcastle.
I was gonna say Newcastle again. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to tally that up.
Don't
and
worry,
Evan-
we'll-
No,
Evan's
I'll-
gonna-
I'll
we're
tally
still
it up.
going. Do we
No,
you
we have 3 more teams. I'll tally it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, you got the
do?
the irrelevant NFC South.
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh, God,
Okay.
come
kill us
on.
now.
Lump them all together as one fucking fan
I think
base.
they are. Like
Okay, wait. We have the Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
Yeah, and in that case,
No, Falcons.
Carolina is Tigers.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Well, hold on.
God, the divide is so harsh.
Well,
between good and bad.
Carolina were good in the Cam Newton
Yeah,
era.
2015. No, it's
yeah,
shit.
but it was for like one season.
West Tigers.
They were just, he was so good in that one season, but it
Yeah.
was one season.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
right.
West Tigers.
the
yeah.
Falcons. Just say the fucking Warriors. No.
No,
Falcons were good
no.
for a while. They were average.
Yeah, but the Warriors have got a higher ceiling right now than the
Just say
Falcons.
the Broncos.
No,
Young team Atlanta, young team Brisbane.
no, but the
Atlanta-
Broncos won a lot, and
Atlanta-
Atlanta have not.
Atlanta haven't won, have they?
Never.
Sharks.
They
Sharks won
they
one.
blew.
Sharks have won.
Yeah, but
blew
fucking
a
we-
massive.
Who else?
Lead in
Read
the
out the
Super Bowl.
NRL teams.
So for all the NRL
No,
teams,
no, what other team you got? Just New Orleans.
just New Orleans are two.
Give me a look at the teams.
So you got the Brisbane Broncos,
I think New
the
Orleans is
Canberra
the
Raiders,
New
Yeah,
Orleans
click
are
the
the
button.
Raiders.
Raiders.
Bounty.
the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, the Cronulla Sharks, the Redcliffe Dolphins, or aka the Dolphins, because they don't want to be known as the fucking place. It's stupid. The Gold Coast Titans, the Manly Warringah Seagulls, Melbourne Storm Cheats, New Zealand Warriors, Newcastle Knights, North Queensland Cowboys, the Parramatta Eels, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the Penrith Panthers, St George Illawarra Dragons, Sydney Roosters or the Sydney Cocks, and the West Tigers.
It's the Eastern Suburbs District Rugby
It's
League
the West
Football Club
Tigers again,
trading as Sydney
unfortunately.
Roosters.
Everyone's going to become a West Tigers fan. Basically,
For
here's the
Atlanta.
rule. Here's the
If
rule,
you've
guys.
been badly
if
run
you've been
multiple
following a
years on it.
shit team, you're probably going to follow the West Tigers. And otherwise,
fans.
if you haven't won a lot recently, you're probably going to follow Parramatta. And and if you have one recently, it's probably going to be the Storm or the Roosters. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
And if you're the Chiefs and everyone hates you, you go to Penrith.
And then you go to Penrith. That's it. That's
Does
pretty much
hate-
it.
Does everyone hate Penrith
Yeah,
except
they all-
Parramatta fans?
Fucking we hate
I
them.
don't really hate them.
All I know is I could not wish anything worse for any of our listeners than to become fucking West Tigers fans. Because seriously, that's harsh. So
We'll do it. I'll do a tally. We'll put it on the socials.
do a tally, but I would say proceed with caution. Don't necessarily listen to us.
But if you want to
because-
be a leader and a lover, go for the Warriors. That's the team that everyone wants to be. Don't you agree, John?
Absolutely, I love the Warriors. They're
The only
just an
team in New
exciting-
Zealand.
They're an exciting brand of football. Actually, you know why I like the comparison? Because the Warriors play like the Detroit Lions, reckless abandonment. Right? It's just seriously, the Warriors play like they do not give a fuck what's going to happen to the ball, and it sometimes works really well,
Yeah.
and then they get blown out. So yeah, they probably are like the Detroit Lions. I'm cool with that. Wellity.
And
I
if
think
you
we're
want to be
done.
also, you go for New South
No,
Wales and
we're
State
not
of
done.
Origin. We also
Yeah.
have State of
We
Origin,
have
which
something
is the
called
biggest
State
game.
of Origin, which is like it's like the Pro Bowl.
When people
But-
give a fuck.
Yeah, when people give, but
You play for
actually,
your state.
you actually play hard and you get just as injured as normal. It's not like the Pro Bowl games. So it's like you guys got AFC, NFC. Most of the people who play rugby league have either come from Queensland or New South Wales. It's in the middle of the season, like the NBA All-Star game, but it's not soft. It's a hard game.
Three
It's-
games, best of three.
You feel honor for your state and you want to fucking win. So anyway, that's if you've never. By the way, for anyone who's never watched rugby league, I often encourage them to go and watch State of Origin highlights. I've had conversations with people, like clients of mine, who've said, "Oh, you've got this rugby thing." I'm like, "Rugby league, mate." And what should I watch? I'm always like, "Go and
State
watch
of Origin
go and watch
2009.
State of Origin
Paul
highlights."
Gallen.
From 2009, Paul Gallen. No, I
No,
go
wasn't
way
that
back,
Miles?
man.
We're talking 1990s.
I go
Yeah,
way
true.
back.
I wanna
I go
see, yeah.
1990s, man. I go
Cattle dog.
early 90s, mid 90s, proper. The type of thing we used to get out that our dads would have bought on fucking VHS. You know, the highlights on VHS. that shit.
1981 major or minor semi-final, Newtown versus Manly.
Oh.
Greatest
What was it?
brawl
What was the
in
game
team
called?
sport.
And that's the other thing.
Ever.
Much like so, imagine a sport like the NFL with hardly any protection, so no headgear. Well, you can choose to wear headgear, but it's optional. But it's quite soft headgear. You don't wear shoulder pads like you do in the
Just a
NFL.
mouth guard.
But to top it off, not only are you running at each other 100 miles an hour, it's like a wall of death if you've ever been to a death metal concert. It's a wall of death. But the best part is hockey rules. You can beat the fuck out. Well, you used to be able to beat the fuck out of each other, like in hockey. Now you still can. It's just you get sent off for
But
10
then again,
minutes.
you hit the head, it's 10 minutes in the bin. But at the end zone, you have to put the ball down over the line. You
That
can't
is
just run over
true.
it.
So when you see these players in the NFL who drop the ball at the line, we call that, guys,
knock on.
a knock on.
Not a fumble.
All
knock
right,
on.
not a fumble, a knock on. He knocked it on the dickhead is a phrase you might hear in Australia.
And we can't
if
forward
you're at a
pass
game.
it.
I think you failed to regrip it. Is the current
Yeah, that's-
sickening video
that's-
referee term.
Yeah. Actually, that's the other thing as
Regrip,
well.
yeah.
Is
Failed to regrip
in
it.
the American football, you can fumble the ball, We'll do a rules comparison.
Yeah.
You can fumble the ball and you can recover the ball. If you fumble the ball, knock it on. If it goes backwards, you can recover it. If it goes forwards, you cannot recover it. The other team gets it, and that's called a scrum.
The more you think about it, we are turning the NFL coaches challenge a flat. What's a good challenges like in the NFL?
The captain.
Yeah, listen.
God,
Yeah, the NFL is the greatest show on turf, right? It's, or grass, hopefully, more often because
Not
turf
at
seems to
MetLife.
be not at MetLife, which seems to be the ACL and
What would
and
our
Achilles
MetLife
killer.
be? What stadium would that be?
Remember when everyone was doing their
I don't know.
ACLs at Suncourt when they first
Oh,
did it? When they
yeah.
first
Yeah,
rebuilt
that's
it?
true. Yeah, there you go. That's I guess the
The
Suncorp.
cathedral? They call
The
it?
Cauldron.
Cauldron.
The Cauldron.
Cathedral.
I miss Lang Park.
I miss Shark
That's
Park
on-
with
it's on the
12,000
same
people.
land space as
It's on the same land space, but it's not
Yeah.
the same grass. I miss the Sydney Football Stadium.
Allianz now.
Yeah. And what was the other? What was it out in Sydney Olympic Park?
So we went Stadium Australia,
Oh,
Stadium Australia. That's the one.
in
ANZ, and then a
was-
core.
No, it was Telstra.
Oh, Telstra Stadium,
Telstra.
yes.
No. When it was Stadium Australia.
Stadium Australia, Telstra.
Yeah, Telstra. Then it went ANZ for 13 years, then it went a core.
But you know what? I'll be honest. You will never beat an atmosphere like you have in his backyard at
Belmore Sports
Oval.
Ground.
At Belmore Oval. The other thing is, it's permissible for fans of a certain ethnic denomination to
bring
light
drugs.
flares, to light flares at this one specific football ground. I don't know if it's legally allowed, but it does happen. And so, could you imagine? It's kind of like Raiders fans, who everyone knows are a little bit insane because people get shot at back when they were in Oakland. Imagine if they were allowed flares in the stadium.
No, I'd say maybe Buffalo fans or Philly fans. If we had
No,
to go,
no, because Oakland fans are known to have shot people.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, do your research.
But going into next week, we'll do rules comparisons, everything.
Did
whatever.
anyone
It's-
die in the Philly celebrations like last time?
No, let's
Wouldn't
hope not.
surprise me. I hope not.
We
but,
wouldn't
you know,
cheer for it, but Philly would.
They boo Santa.
Oh, the Santa was there yesterday, and I think
And
they're
Santa was,
cheering him.
Santa was cheering.
Maybe
them
that's why they
yesterday.
won. Reverse karma.
Are you saying
Mm.
that if Dallas won a Super Bowl and someone died, Philadelphia fans would cheer?
Yes.
Interesting observation.
Lucky they can save their voices.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's wrap it right up. It's getting late in our world, well after 11 p.m., but we love this so much that we're delivering the content anyway. So we have rebranded. It is now official, but it does mean that for anyone who's listening, we rely on your likes, shares, comments as always. Please leave reviews. Please
Feedback. Give us some feedback.
give us some feedback too. Let us know what's going on. We do seem to average just shy of about 1,000 listeners per episode, which is quite cool. It's quite cool. We're really happy with that. However, we want to take that to 10 to 50 to 100 so we can get into your press conferences and ask hard-hitting questions. To
Like, what's Andy Reid's favorite snack besides a cheeseburger?
What's Andy Reid's favorite
wonder what it
snack?
is.
And,
Besides
Yeah,
a
do
cheeseburger.
it.
and has Matt Bellamy ever had sex since he took the position at Melbourne? Because he seems like he doesn't do much
Matt,
else.
Is that Craig's brother?
Oh wait,
Matt
what's his name?
Bellamy.
Wait, hang on. Matt Bellamy's.
He's
from
the lead
Muse.
singer of Muse.
I reckon he has had sex, actually.
Yeah, he
Plenty.
probably
Craig,
has.
I'm not
Craig,
sure.
Craig
Plenty.
Bellamy.
Craig-
Craig Bellamy. That's
Craig's
the one.
son's involved on the Melbourne coaching staff now. So,
Oh, hopefully
Maybe
he's
Matt
alright.
Bellamy.
Is his name Matt Bellamy? Because that'd be amazing.
You got me now. Can't remember. I think it's Mark.
Mark
it's
Bellamy.
Mark Brenton.
Oh, he missed
You're
out there.
thinking of the son.
Yeah, no, I'm I'm now thinking of yeah. I want you.
Starts with A, I'm pretty sure.
I want you now.
Oh, yeah, and sorry, to go back comparisons, Dallas.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, sorry, Dallas and Parramatta, both first time coaching. What the fuck? And I guess Jason Rolls was an assistant, but still, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Schottenheimer though has been around for way too long.
Yeah, but Rolls has been around for what, 15 years?
You basically hired the white Eric Bieniemy. That's what you did. You basically hired like Eric. Like no one wanted Eric Bieniemy.
You should have hired. You would have been better if you hired the black Eric Bieniemy, though. Also
probably
known-
would have.
Also known as Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, very very
What
true.
about, let's,
You'd be
again, we'll end on this.
the
Let's end it
corpse
on
of
this.
OJ.
If we can go into the alternate reality, if Jerry Jones somehow kept Dan Quinn and Keelan Moore, Washington and Philly wouldn't be in the championship game.
That's not true. You still would have. fucked it up.
No, prove it. I don't think they would be.
Can't prove it wrong because it didn't happen.
Are we
Well,
actually ending it on that? That
yes.
is fucking sad.
Jerry Jones has caused this. Shame on you, sir.
Evan
Don't
said he wouldn't
derail
talk.
us.
Didn't Evan say he wouldn't talk about Dallas?
Yeah, but- and
it's
We
a
spoke about
TV
Dallas
show.
plenty.
And we transitioned our podcast from prime summer content NFL to prime winter content NRL. And we've gone
Are we
back
still
to
talking
Dallas.
about Dallas?
And there is still a Cowboys as well in the NRL, but I won't be talking about them.
No, North Queensland
Can you
nomination.
talk about them and not the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
Hey, why?
You can spend the whole episode talking about North Queensland
By the way, why are they the
If you don't talk about
Cowboys
Dallas.
and not like the Crocodiles?
North Queensland.
because there was a basketball team called the Crocodiles.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
Because I was going to say that,
Yeah.
Evan, keep that fucking phone away.
yeah. There was
Um,
a Townsville basketball team was the Crocodiles. That's why.
Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting.
Why
There
didn't
you
they?
go.
Why weren't they called the cassowaries? Plenty of cassowaries. up in
Hagawaras.
I was about to say, what about the Hogawares?
Yeah.
From our South African
So,
what, Evan?
No,
Or my South African what?
Hagawaras were Argentinian
Argentine
rugby.
Rugby Union.
Oh.
Right. Hogawares.
Yes, Jaguars with an extra E.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's finish because that was fuck Dallas, man. I don't want to talk about Dallas anymore.
Yes.
I was hoping
No
we
more
could get away
NFL talk for a while.
Not true. Something will happen with Dallas, and then you'll be back to square one. As I said, like, share, subscribe, watch it on all the channels. This is video. This will be going live on YouTube. If you are listening to it, then please look on the YouTube. Go and check us out on our socials. Please follow us on socials. We want to actually get this show done live and have callers calling in at some point. We cannot, unfortunately, do that until we get a certain number of followers. I don't make the rules. I'm just here to explain them. It's bullshit, but
Sounds
that's
like a copper at Belmore Sports Ground.
Sounds like a copper at Belmore Sports Ground. We would love to do it live, so please go and follow us on
He
places
hasn't
like
been beaten up yet.
who?
You.
Me,
You can't be a copper at Belmore Sports Ground if you're still standing.
bro. I got 2 children. I live in a household of women. I get beaten up every day, brother. Beaten to
Mentally.
a pulp. Mentally, physically.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man, wait till like your 18 month, you got to go for a hug and she kicks you in the balls accidentally. Like that's just, you know, when they start to get longer than you. 10 months away. When they start to get longer than you expected them to be, you know, it's like, when the fuck did you grow up? Right in the nutsack. Bella the other day, my 4.5-year-old, was like jumping over my legs as if it was like like an obstacle. And I was like, this is great. I can sit here and look at my phone and pretend to parent. She fucking stomped right on my dick and didn't mean to. She just missed. And as you can imagine, she jumped back and she went. And then I said, oh, fuck, Bella. She goes, I'm not going to say what I jumped on. 'Cause she knows what it is. She's just, I'm not going to say that word. And then she just ran off and, I don't know, played with the Barbie doll. Anyway, while I had to nurse my nuts back to health. Anywho,
Get the frozen peas out, I say.
frozen peas indeed. Are we going to go?
Yeah, let's get the
We're gonna
fuck
end?
out of here.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome back, brothers. It was good to
What
see
are we
you in
going
the
to end
studio
the
again.
first episode of the SK Sportscast with?
Ooh.
Something that's not
NRL.
Something that is
NRL rated.
not
No,
Dallas.
if-
How about Evan gives a round of congratulations to the Philadelphia
Already have.
Eagles?
Crying.
Well, the former podcast was called First Down Under. Do we just cap
The
it
Last
off with
Down Under?
The last
Last down under. Okay, what's the
last
last?
down, motherfuckers.
Last. I like it.
An incomplete pass by Kenny Pickett.
That's actually. I don't think we should do that. I think we just end there. No,
See ya.
last. I like it. Last down. You ready?
Okay. Last down, motherfuckers.
Get out of here.
All right. Bye bye.
Kenny Pickett.